been keeping myself so busy, pushing out the misery, trying to find the peace in me. I wanna be, I wanna find myself, but again, it's always a phase. I wanted to stay, no you don't understand. I've been losing myself, I've been losing myself. I've been keeping myself so busy, pushing out the misery, trying to find the peace in me. I wanna be, I wanna find myself, but again, it's always a phase. I wanted to stay, no you don't understand. I've been losing myself, I've been losing myself. I've been keeping myself so busy, pushing out the misery, trying to find the peace in me. I wanna be, I wanna find myself, but again, it's always a phase. I wanted to stay, no you don't understand. I've been losing myself, I've been losing myself.
So purely, I'm pushing myself to the edge, not letting go away. Been testing myself by the worst. I've been pushing my mind to the most. I've been loving the people around me, but I'm so paranoid, I'm so paranoid, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is it. This is the final, the culmination of the season for Equinox League here. And boy, do we have a special treat for you here. We have two very special guest color casters with me today. My name is CJ, of course. And on my left, we have, you've seen him win every lane. You've seen him lose every lane. It's Artie. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. That's a pretty accurate description.
And then on my right, we have the person I probably wax lyrical about the most in the whole of Square One. It is Royal Reaper's mid laner, Omena. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing fine, my friend.
I have a quick question for Omena, just real quick. Is that in the Steam Golem Invitationals, why'd you ditch your team, bro? Why'd you ditch him?
I was not invited there.
Ooh, that feels bad. Okay, let's move on quickly from that one. Holy shit. And then let's get on to the game we have before us. This is Team IGNI versus Aquamarine Gaming. This is the one, the big one. These teams both 2-0'd their semifinals. Both have looked incredibly dominant, IGNI especially. If we just look at IGNI first to start ourselves off here, they had a 21-1 season record. When we look across the rift, the 1-21-1, the Brock Lesnar to IGNI's Undertaker, Fat Raccoons, they're nowhere to be seen. So, in theory, does this mean that IGNI are going to take this one with no trouble?
I don't think it's fair to say that, because, the roster changed. Halfway through the split for IGNI, they got a new mid-jungle, swapped around some players. I think the new roster is just as dominant, if not more so, but it's not fair to say that AMG didn't have a shake against this roster twice. They've only played against it once.
For sure, AMG have upgraded their roster slightly as well, bringing OG Wheatfish into that mid lane. I mean, I'm not sure if you've actually directly played against him so far, but I think you might have done in Square One, right? How do you feel this player is going to shape up going against IGNI?
I think he's like a really strong player, but I think IGNI has the edge on this one as well.
True, they do have a couple of options to put in this mid lane. We've obviously seen Sojin move around from support, top to mid lane, maybe just following where the Vlad takes him, but we've seen so many picks of him in so many lanes, and that is really, I think, one of the strengths of Team IGNI here, is that how flexible their drafts are with the team they have built, so that's something that AMG is going to have to watch out for. If we look back at their record versus TAP in the regular season, it was 2-0, but I feel like this is misrepresenting the titanic struggles that these guys had together when they battled on the Rift. The first game's gold graph looks a bit more like a roller coaster than a consistent slope, and game 2 was, I believe, was a forfeit win for IGNI. So I think that this one is definitely something that AMG can bring up. They've got the strength here. They've been growing over the top of this season, and I guess my simple question to both of you is, do you think that AMG have grown enough to take this win today?
Ooh, I don't know. I think it's like, I think they've grown enough to take a game at least. I can see them taking one game.
A whole game.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say they're going to take the entire series until we see them play out, because obviously you got a 21-1 team, and then you've got AMG, which is fairly less dominant. But they did get a new mid lane support, so maybe that changes things for them.
How about you, Amanda? Do you think that think AMG's got the sauce here today?
I think AMG is gonna get one game. I think that's all they can do at the moment against this roster.
Sure, so a consistent 3-1 prediction from both of our big, giant air quote analysts that we have on the desk here. I feel like AMG could take 2. I think it depends on if they're allowed to play their game. They do have this very consistent, repetitive style that they like to use. It's very usually quite team fight focused. Noah's usually the linchpin of these team fights on something like Vayne, something like Kai'Sa, Jinx as well. We've seen him pull out recently. And then IGNI, more of a variable team. As I was talking about their flexible drafts earlier, they can build a lot of different team comps with the players and the champions that they have in that pool. So we'll need to see if they have the answer to AMG's just kind of free win strategy that they run every game, and it seems to be dominating fairly recently. But we'll have to see if that can work out here today. We will be getting into Champ Select very soon once the teams are all ready and once our stream setup is ready for you guys. But let's talk about picks real quick before we get in there. Do you guys have any particular picks that you think are going to show up early in the picks or the bans?
I think Kennen will definitely be banned from Packer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a certain, and I think Zach from Pioneer's Pineapple is going to go as well. I think from IGNI's side, though, I think we're gonna see Rek'Sai banned away from Ventum. It's like his best champion in solo queue. He's really comfortable on it. Showed some really good performances. I think maybe a Corki takeaway from Sojin and a Vlad takeaway from Jack or MC MXTV.
Yeah, so that's
Expect to see.
yeah, I believe it's 1995 in Roman numerals up in that top lane to make it a little easier to read off there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're correct. I wouldn't be surprised to see that Kennen taken away. The Rek'Sai is taken away by AMG first, but it's actually the Jinx and the Twitch taken away from Noali. Famously a very strong Vayne and Kai'Sa player, and I think we've seen teams leave up Vayne for Noah more times than I would usually expect, and they tend to do pretty well on this champion. Do you think it's going to get taken away? And do you think Noah is going to slam pick this one if it's available for him?
This is really interesting by IGNI. I didn't expect any of these bans. They've left the Zac up, they've left the Cannon up. Vlad's taken away. Think?
Yep. Well,
Oh?
there it is. They might just be
Okay.
looking to take this away. I guess that's the play.
Yeah.
Ban out the rest and then leave them no
Yeah.
options. Do you think it's going to be the Kai'Sa perhaps to match up this one?
I think you might see the Tristana.
Mm.
I think Tristana's been a big pick for him. And because of the competitions they like to run, they normally like Weedfish on one of those like control mages that can, do heavy DPS, make up for the like a tank shredding from a Triss, maybe like a Cassia or an Azir. I
Sure.
think. Oh no, they'll go for the Kai'Sa.
That is going to be the Kai'Sa. A little bit more survivability maybe with that extra shield on the Killer Instinct. But the Zac is still available. Have to see if he takes this one up. And you were right, Artie. We had the Rek'Sai. Both the Corki and the Vlad have been taken away from Sojin probably and 1995 there. So those ones lined up. The Thresh has been taken away from Alone. We know that he is a very consistent Thresh player. Their previous support, Fantasy, was also a big Thresh player. They definitely like to play with this champion and the style that it can create. Piney's Pineapple does end up swapping to the Scion at the last minute. So this is a staple Packer pick. I imagine will be going up here. And are they actually going to take both of their premium champions? Are they going to lock in the Zac?
That'd be a way to win.
That's big mental damage, surely. You've left
Yeah.
both up and then snipe both their picks from them.
What do you think, Amina? Do you think they're going to take the Zac?
I hope to see it. I think AMG will be like without weapons if they do it, but
Yeah.
I think that's not going to happen anymore.
Sure. I mean, it's definitely. I'm not sure if we've seen Ventum play that much Zac, but he tends to go towards more to your Rek'Sais, your Kha'Zixes, your Lee Sins, your Jarvans. You know, that kind of high like aggression, AD, early, strong, winning your lanes kind of jungler. And I think that Zac is able to do that, but I think that the hard engage is definitely something that he is not as used to be doing. And they have taken the Morgana for Exile in that bot lane, and there is the Kha'Zix for Ventum. So that's a comfort pick for him. And overall, so we've got a lot of damage. We've got that CC coming in from Morgana, got a nice black shield for Vayne, which is going to be very useful. And on the side of AMG, we do have this team fight comp shaping up as it might be the Braum coming in there to support that Kai'Sa, giving that extra stun that you can get in that lane using the passive. So I think that we're going to see traditional styles from these teams, what we've seen from them a lot more. We'll need to see what the next round of bans come in as.
I don't agree with that pick at all. It's really, really
Into
interesting.
Morgana, it's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, and also you've got the Kha'Zix there as well. I mean, I guess it's good for peeling him, but so far what they've shown are all champs that really, really, really do well into Braum. So
yeah, it feels like they might have had a comp in mind, and they're not really that interested in what IGNI is picking. They just want to build the comp that they want to play, and Braum was, I guess, their next best option for that. But I maybe would have liked to see, I don't know, maybe just something different like an Alistair or something that doesn't get quite so heavily neutered by the Morgana pick. Obviously, we'll have to see how that one shapes up. The Xin Zhao has been taken over Pineapple, so maybe just
daring the Zac.
they're leaving it all the way up. The Nico and Aurelia have come away from AMG here as well, so that's potentially something you could see in a lot of different lanes, honestly. Nico, with the on-hit build, being able to play mid, top, and you can play Nico ADC technically, but that Vayne top lane, I don't know. And then you've got the Nico support as well with a very, very aggressive, long root duration when you get it through those minions. It really punishes opponents for hiding behind those waves. So it's probably a good takeaway. It's a very strong flex pick right now. The last ban is going to be the Zac. Okay, they're not actually going to go full BM.
Yeah. I think that was in order. The Kha'Zix is a decent matchup, but I don't think it's so good to the point where you leave his best champ open.
Yeah, there's only so much you can give them for free right now, as they have been looking incredibly strong recently. Currently hovering the Warwick. That is not a champion that we see almost ever, really, at this point in the meta.
Yeah, I would be surprised to see it. I think he'll change out for maybe Vi?
Oh,
Jarvan.
gotta be the Jarvan. Another solid meta pick. Pretty linear, very simple playstyle, something that that Pioneer's Pineapple can absolutely exploit. We'll need to see now what the mid and top laners for IGNI are going to come up here. So they've got that top lane matchup. You can be reasonably certain that it's Pioneer's Pineapple up in that top lane, but the mid lane is going to be OG Wheatfish's counter pick. We need to see what Sojin wants to take, given that he doesn't have the Corki, doesn't have the Vlad. I've seen him play Xerath support. I've not seen him play it in the mid lane yet, and we'll have to see what he decides to go with here, as it is going to be the Alistar picked up. So he's actually going to be on Morgana mid lane for Sojin.
Yeah, that's a really, really strong pick, and I think it's pretty good because he's going blind. Would you like to see something else? I mean, or do you think the Morg is good?
Morgan mid lane is really good right now, but I want to see Wheatfish pick something good into it. Something long range, something you can clear the waves with. Like Xerath, Vel'Koz, both are good into it.
And that, oh, hang on a second. So it is the Vayne top lane. This is a very interesting team comp that is coming out here from IGNI in game 1. Looks like we have a Sivir Alistar bot lane, Vayne top lane for 1995, and a Morgana mid lane with the Kha'Zix jungle. This is a very unorthodox draft, and across the board, AMG tend to be picking their normal kind of front-to-back team fight, tanks and carries kind of setup. Looks like Wheatfish is maybe going to pick that Orianna. I feel like this could be a little bit abusable by Sojin if he's able to land those bindings.
I mean, I'm looking at these comps right now, and I'm just kind of cringing at the thought of what AMG are going to do against this, because the matchup top is going to be a disaster. I don't see how that goes badly unless he gets a tent set up and completely camped. Like, Vayne top into Sion is such a free matchup.
Yeah.
Mid lane, it feels like he kind of wasted the counter pick on an Ori. I don't know how that matchup goes. Does Ori win, or?
It feels really wasted.
Yeah.
Like, Orianna is such a generic mid laner, you can take something so more impactful into it. But in the other hand, I think AMG's comp is like a generic teamfight comp. If they go into 20 minutes and later and they aren't 5 to 10k behind, I think they have a chance at this.
Mm-hmm.
True, that is the style that we know they like to play. It's the kind of, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It feels like they just kind of didn't even look across the board at what IGNI were drafting, and they just built the comp that they wanted to play. And this does play into their own style. We know that they can do this, and they're kind of relying on their own skill and their own team play, I guess, to carry them through here, whereas IGNI to be actually using counter picks maybe, or trying to win the lanes, trying to win the draft, as it were, as opposed to just playing their own game. We'll have to see how this mid lane goes particularly. I think that OG Wheatfish, it costs him so much more mana to clear the wave than a Morgana. Like, he's probably, if he's going to have to be clearing the wave, he's going to run himself out of mana. If he gets hit by a binding, he does have that cleanse, which helps a lot. But if he doesn't have it, if he gets hit by 2 in a row and the ultimate comes down, the Ignite's on board for Sojin right now, and he could literally just get solo killed on the Orianna if he's not careful. So they really need to get through this laning phase without developing too much of a deficit. Then, like you say, if they get to that team fight, that 20-minute and further mark, they definitely have the tools they can to win the fights, and then if they can convert that into objectives, they'll still be able to take this one, I think.
I think they can look to focus bot lane there, to be honest. Because it's not the Morg support, if they've gone for like a Morg Sivir lane, for example, it would be like completely untouchable, and you wouldn't be able to save it.
Yeah.
But because they've opted for this Alistar, if like Jarvan went for an early path bot side, maybe took red into bot side Scuttle or something like that, and then headed down bot, I think they could get a lot of work done, because Alistar in the early levels, he's pretty susceptible to ganks because he doesn't really have a way to, survive without his ultimate. And they have the Bronestone, Kai'Sa, damage, etc. I think maybe they could look to snowball there, but the other lanes seem like really, really stalemated, and I assume Venom's going to try and look to vertical to try and keep his Vayne top safe and just let her ruin the Sion's life.
Yeah, it feels like all you really need to do is let 1995 play the matchup, and then he's just going to get that farm, he's going to get the items, and there's nothing really that Packer can do about it, unless he gets a lot of support from Pineapple, which is going to use a lot of his time dealing with that against potentially this mid lane, which could be going badly if Kha'Zix chooses to focus there with the Morgana bindings. And then the bot lane as well, they have the Sivir ultimate to be really good gank assist to get you right in on top of them very quickly. So I think that there's a lot of things that Pineapple has to be aware of this game. A lot of lanes that are very vulnerable, honestly, to falling behind early, and he needs to make sure that they're all topped up and okay and able to get through that mid game without falling behind. I think he's able to do that. Pineapple is very good jungler in this league. He's absolutely one of the best, and he's able to keep those lanes alive and get them rolling. We've seen him get this bot lane rolling countless times, and he's also supporting that mid lane as well. Packer's normally a good rock on his own, but we'll need to see if Pineapple has to help him out with this Vayne matchup. It's probably going to be a tough one for him.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really, really rough. I don't think Sion can do anything in this matchup, but
Yeah.
sit there and watch his tower fall.
When they have the Vayne ult and the Sivir ult, and like Kha'Zix coming in, Morgana maybe if she gets that enough speed and uses the ult to get her own speed up, like you just cannot get away from this team. If IGNI are ahead and they're able to find those fights and they can just find you not under your own tower, they can run you down so hard. It's gonna be really difficult for AMG to disengage from them, I think.
That getting out of the way though, who's your predictions for this game, would you say?
I think it's honestly it's so hard to say because I feel like AMG just they've built such a good team for themselves, but then IGNI feel like they've drafted to win the game as opposed to just drafting to make themselves as strong as possible. I feel like it is gonna be IGNI in this game one. I don't think that they have optimal picks really for the side of AMG, especially I think the mid lane is the main thing for me that I think they missed, and it's going to be a point of vulnerability, or when it could have been such a point of strength for them going into this Morgana matchup. So I think IGNI is just going to probably get enough of a lead early to just run away with this one.
What about you, Omena?
Yeah, I think this game is going to be a 24-minute win for
Ooh,
IGNI.
24 minutes. Can someone write that
24
down?
minutes.
We'll check that one back at the victory screen and see how close to 24 minutes we are.
It's either a 24-minute win for IGNI or it's going to be a 32-minute win for AMG.
Okay, let's not forget that. Someone in chat take note of this. So let's look. We've got nice 5-man stacks here, both expecting the invade. I mean, the Morgana is definitely a strong invade champion, followed up with the Alistar as well, so no surprises there. But they're also expecting the Braum invade, which is another very strong invade champion. So they're both just going to sit. They're going to spam some masteries. Going to go back to regular lanes here. Nothing too explosive. This is the finals. This is the last chance these guys have. This is the peak of the mountain. These guys do not want to fumble anything early.
I expect to see. Well, let's talk about the mid jungle matchup because I think that's the first thing we can get into with this game. The thing that's striking for me is that Morg Kha'Zix, in theory, should be weaker than J4 Ori, but because Morg is gonna presumably have the early push, I'm excited to see what Ventum's gonna do with it because the W, like the Tormented Soil, it's gonna shove out the way pretty quickly. So I want to see if he's gonna go for any early invades, maybe try and target Pineapple in his own jungle, or if he's just gonna power farm it out till 6 and get his evolve, because he's doing some weird wolf stuff right now.
Got some interesting secret strats pulling out just in time for the finals here to try and throw them off. We'll have to watch out for this level 2, perhaps bot lane. Braum Kai'Sa level 2 is obviously incredibly strong, but looks like the push is with them as well, so they do have the pressure here. Getting nowhere ahead is such a strong win condition for AMG, something they always tend to fish for, as Sojin already looking for these bindings in mid lane, able to be dodged out by Weedfish though.
Yeah, and if we take a look to the bot side jungle, you can see Pineapple's already pathing towards there.
Oh, here they come, looking for that level 2. They've got the Braum passive stack up. Here come the heavy blows. That's going to be a stun onto Axel. They might have to force a summoner here. They're flashing in. That passive's going to pop a flash in from Noeli. That's the first blood. That's what he needed. And the flash on Alistair is still up. Somebody tell me how this has been allowed to happen.
I didn't say this before the game. Alistar, very early on. It's really squishy, really susceptible to damage. I didn't expect the 2v2 kill though.
Yeah, that should never happen.
Yeah.
That's just the double lift holding his flash there, and then he's got to watch that one back in his own base as Noah gets the first blood. This is the perfect start, but Ventum is quite deep as well. Pineapple's actually looking to mess with him. Exile is here for the support though.
He just misses
as
combo.
well. Pineapple is now just has to run out with his tail between his legs. There's not really that much they can do about it, but that's a little bit awkward perhaps, as 1995 is exerting dominance in this top lane.
I don't think that's too bad for AMG, really. Like, I think Pineapple stole the camp.
I feel like they got away with murder there. I think the
Yeah. I think Axel missed his Alistar combo though. I'm not too sure.
not the best start for Exile 2 here. Maybe looking a little rusty. We'll have to see if he can warm those hands up going into the rest of this game.
Yeah. Mistakes happen. Alistar's known to be one of the most difficult champions in the game, of course.
Yeah, dude, I think they definitely made his combo. Did they make it harder? Was it? Definitely, that's what it did. They definitely made it harder. They didn't make it easier. I heard that wrong, for sure. That's why. That's the excuse.
But,
I was expecting more top focus from IGNI, but it seems that they are doing it right now.
oh, J4 apparently cancelled the Alistar combo, so he didn't miss it. Okay.
Oh, it's actually high tier, excellent play by Pineapple. Speaking, here's an Alistar combo. He's hit this one, but the Q doesn't land, and now this can get turned around. The Denting Blow's not going to land. No ability to proc there, so the passive's not going to go down. Good start by Axile, but not able to follow it up. The minion wave run back to safety there.
Yeah. Ventum and I'm just gonna call him Jack. I don't want to call him 995.
Sure.
They were looking for Jarvan in the top side there. He almost got away with the skull, but just a little far off. But he is ahead of Ventum in camps right now, which for Jarvan is quite unusual. He's usually slower clear than Kha'Zix, but he tends to be more high tempo and active in ganking. I'm just interested to see where he's gonna head, because I think jungle dynamic is probably the biggest thing we can look at this game, because mid lane is just and top lane is just
Yeah. Pretty much.
jungle dynamic and bot lane seem to be the most interesting, but I expect Sivir and Alistar to sort of phase this lane out regardless if Noah got a kill or not, because it's Sivir and she's going to push the wave. They don't really have the wave play to match it early on from a Kai'Sa, especially before a Q evolve.
Yeah, they're not really in a position to actually take any kind of aggressive position in this lane now that they've fallen behind, especially after the first back, when you got to imagine Noah's going to come back with a BF sword, probably with wards, potions as well. He's going to be so hard to deal with, especially once he gets that ultimate. So bot lane is probably just going to be Axile and Luke trying not to lose anymore, which I imagine they will be able to do with the combo they've built. Oh, maybe looking for a binding here. Sojin, he's got level 6. If he can land it, can he do it? Can he do it? He misses it. Okay, that's unfortunate. Sojin out of mana. Waits about 10 seconds to still miss it. OG Weedfish holding his nerve there, walks away, loses nothing.
I think he
Honestly, I was expecting Sujin to ult him.
Yeah, that seems like the easier button to press there, right? I mean, it's a point and click.
Yeah, exactly. He has glacial augments, so he can
would anything have
most
happened?
likely get it off. It
Probably
most
hard
likely
to
just
secure.
poke or something.
I
Just
think
before
it's
Orion
mana
out.
if he ulted, right? Or
What's
He had
the
mana for
cooldown?
ultimate and W.
What's the cooldown on Morgana ult early? Is it the kind of thing where you can just use it to like force him to back and then you'll have it by the time you come back to lane, or is
I
it,
think
does it
the
have, like,
base
a long
cooldown is 2 minutes,
yeah, it's 2 minutes.
but it's
damn.
like you can pretty much use it just to force the enemy, because on this lane you're not going to kill the Orianna with cleanse. You're
Yeah.
going to like get small leads with the jungler. Since now Ventum is nearly level 6, they can soon start to do something cool with him.
True.
But
I
Sushin
mean,
is really stuck on this lane. I was expecting him to go teleport on this lane, but he went for the aggressive ignite, but it has not paid off yet.
yeah, and he's keeping just about even with that CS. Weedfish not getting shoved in, holding his own, and the Orianna's going to be so useful later on. As you say, Ventum was hanging around a little bit. We haven't really seen Ventum able to do anything. Normally, this is a jungler that has a lot more early impact, I feel, on these champions. He likes to snowball with these AD carry junglers. And now we just haven't really seen him on the map so far. We've seen Pineapple walking into jungle doing some nifty moves and exerting a little bit of pressure there, but overall the jungles haven't really had that much pressure. Both just almost level 6 now, to see if they maybe feel a bit more bold once they have that ultimate available.
I don't think there's a lot he can do, really. None of his lanes have good setup except for the Morg, but she's playing into a Cleanse Orianna and a shove matchup.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I think
I think this comp needed.
Wow, in a second we might see him finally
out.
starting one. Piney's Pineapple's around the corner. Packer does have ultimate. They've jumped in. A flash away is forced and flash in from Ventum, but the ultimate favor is in the favor of AMG. They've got a nice condemn there, but Pineapple has his ultimate available. Packer's used his available and they actually walk away. No turn there. Flashes for flashes and not that much health. Packer just going to TP back to lane, I guess.
I think that's more in AMG's favor, to be honest. If Kha'Zix's flash is down and he wants to look for a play on the map, he cannot
Oh,
be
nice
nearly as
knock up there on Noah. The wall, the Brom shield is not good now, but here come the reverse Brom passive. Noah getting chunked down by that Q, the boomerang made. Luke's actually on full health. They've got to wall back to their tower here. The minion is not in their favor. That's actually a trade going in the favor of IGNI here.
Yeah, I think they're going to start winning these trades more and more as Sivir starts scaling up. And Alistar obviously has his 6 now, so I think they'll win any all-ins. I think it's more down to Pineapple to create a play on the spot side, look for an ult on the Sivir, because she can't dash out of it like a Variety carries can.
I think that actually could have been a kill, or at least a flash and ult force if that W lands, because Alistar was on the jungle. He's being caught on his way back to lane. They've got that denting blow stacking up. That's going to be the stun. And now Noelle gets himself another kill. Here comes the ult, the killer instinct. Luke has to pop everything to run away. He's got nothing left. Pineapple takes it. That's more money in Noah's pocket. This bot lane is getting out of control.
Oh, that's got to be grim. I don't really know what Axel was doing there, because I think because Ventum tends to track the enemy jungler quite heavily. I think they should have known that the Jarvan was on the bot side, because all his top side clamps are down, Ventum's already been up there, and he knows that. I don't think there's any reason for Axel to be on like that quadrant of the map. He probably should have just been waiting for the wave at his tower. Pretty big misplay.
Does end up giving away another kill, 2 kills in fact, counting Luke, and the Dragon's going to go away too. We saw in this mid lane as well, Sojin continually walking up to try and pressure and try and, I guess, trade with Weedfish, but Weedfish is just having none of it. He's winning every trade, and now Sojin not having this TP means that he can't just kind of lose a trade and come back. He's actually just falling a little behind in CS. He's still fairly even, but it's interesting to see Weedfish holding his nerve actually, and just not getting intimidated by Sojin walking up looking for these binding.
Yeah, I think he's doing a decent job in the matchup, to be honest. I don't know what you think, Amina, because you're the mid laner here, so...
He's doing really well in this matchup, but I don't think Sujin is, like, doing what he's supposed to be doing on this lane. He is not pushing out the lane, he's not going with the Kha'Zix to pressure the J4. Like, I think they are pretty much lost on this matchup. They don't know what to do.
It feels really grim. Like, I kind of agree with you. Because, you know, I think the Kha'Zix at this point, as well with the Maul, like if they catch the Jarvan, he should die, right? But,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they have at the moment the winning 2v2. Orianna pre-11, pre-first item, is really weak. Like the only thing she can do at the moment is clear the waves, but Morgana does that even better.
So that is gonna be an awkward mid-jungle interaction here. We wanted IGNI to see and try and get this lane and snowball it through using the lanes that they drafted. Pineapple gonna get caught by Ventum. He's got doubles. That's a lot of burst. Oh my god, he's gonna go down. He's just dead. Ventum comes in with the doubles, with that Q. Just ends his life.
Yeah, he had his flag on the ground. He wasn't going anywhere. That's just... Yeah.
No flash
bad.
available for him either. Nothing he could do. So there, we see Ventum finally exerting a bit of pressure in this jungle. He's got that warrior completed, I believe he does, plus that longsword. Got that first kill for him, matching one for Pineapple now, and now he is spending a lot more time in this top side, where we knew that they were stronger early. 1995 is pushing in P.A.K.K.A, that's just kind of going as we expected. They've got some deep wards in there. Try and spot out this Jarvan.
Yeah, I know this can be contested, not with the amount of lane prio that Vayne's got. One thing that I do want to point out, however, about this Vayne is...
second, after this, Gank's coming in, Pineapple, there comes the ultimate. Axel's going to get locked in, he has the flash, he's got the ultimate, here comes the bomb multiple, that's going to be another stun, and the ignite, can they burst him down? Can they do it? They can! Alone picks it up with that ignite. That is going to be a kill, a lot blown for both sides, but that's going to be the pressure advantage. We'll see if they can maybe push for some plates, and I think Luke needs to watch out for a dive.
I don't know. Axel is not having his best game so far. Yeah. That's going to have to be a trade back, because I think they can really pressure for this first tower. There's no way that Luke can stay without being dove.
Ventum's not at the top lane yet, so they can't force it down as quickly as they maybe would have liked to. I think it's... This is more to get gold on.
Hang on
a second, Weedfish now walked into the wrong side of town. That ward doing so much work. Gets it. Oh my god, the ultimate! It's not gonna do it. He lives off one. But now here's Morgana into that bot lane, uses that stun, but it doesn't matter. Noelle still goes down, and now Luke is the one with the power in his hands. He is doing the damage. Alone has to run away. That is a 2 for no. And now Ventum goes down to the jungle camps, and Alone gets bound up. This game is falling apart before my very eyes. I'm going insane.
You're saying 1k ping in the chat.
Oh,
I've been on the receiving end of that experience from Ventum. Gonna go ahead and say though, IGNI have turned this around really, really quickly, and I'm quite impressed by it because I honestly thought it was gonna look really, really bad for them. But Ventum's like kind of carrying this right now. He looked for a couple picks, kind of brought the tempo back to them, killed the jungler so they couldn't make plays. Sojin had a really good roam bot there though. I don't know if you saw, but I think he hit the binding and the ult, and it synced pretty well with the Civic Q, so the damage got across.
Yeah, managed to take down Noah as well. A nice little shutdown in his pocket. He is now at 2-0-1. So very much back in this game. He's got that GLP online. He's building fast towards his next item. We might see the, I guess maybe the Twin Shadows straight for the Glacial. We might see him go for a Zhonya's now that he's playing that Morg. He's got that ultimate online, almost level 11. Looks like we're posturing around this dragon. It's going to come up too long. 1995 just ruining Packer's day. No fun to be had. He has just got to retreat back to that tower. The Blade, the Ruin King, is online for this Vayne, and that's so unfortunate for the Scion.
Yeah, this matchup's gonna get worse and worse. I do feel like Jack has delayed like the times that he could bully this Scion, because he opted for Q max instead of the W max. I'm presuming this is so he could get more Kleptomancy procs.
Hey, that's a Scion TP for
That
Dragon.
is a Scion TP.
Oh.
They really want this dragon. It is a Mountain Drake. It's very strong to have. Getting that objective damage is so good
Yeah.
when you have a team like this. They are going to commit 5 men to this one. Vayne is shoving on that top lane tower, though. This is probably going to be the dragon committed. I don't think IGNI need to force anything for this. They know that, you know, AMG have committed a lot of resources to this objective, so they're just going to maybe trade a top lane tower and just not do anything wacky.
I think they're fine with that because they want to look for a 20 or 25 minute Baron because they've got the Kai'Sa and they're going to have the Rage Blade Spike Spoon. Probably with another Zeal item by the time they can actually do the Baron because Noah's really fed this game. He's been farming really well as well. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, he is the shining light for AMG right now. Still 2-1-2 on that Kai'Sa with a nice CS lead. This is the team comp that we normally see. This is how these games always go. Noah gets fed, and we've got another fight brewing here. He comes straight in as Sojin in the wrong side of town. He's going to get burst down, a shutdown back onto this Kai'Sa. And now the ults have gone down. Packer's going in. Axile with a lovely 5-man knockup. It stalled them so well. And now what? The dive comes in with the ultimates. Orianna ultimate melts through them. They're going to go down on Axile 2. This has gone amazingly for AMG. They have massacred the side of IGNI with an excellently played team fight.
That's a huge blunder, especially on the macro side. I don't know what Jack is doing down there. He has a free path to push top lane because no one can respond. No one has TP up. Sion's used the ultimate as well. I think you can just take the one loss and get out. Instead, they choose to opt for a really badly timed fight in a choke against Jarv and Orianna. And Braum, it's just really questionable, but I gotta give props to AMG. That was a nicely executed fight, especially on the Sion and Kai'Sa's end of it.
Yeah, I think the Pineapple and Weefish's ultimates as well, very nicely timed, catching the remaining carries under the towers, just absolutely shredding through them. That's going to be a tower in their favor. It's now 2 more kills. Look, the Gwynsus has come online for Noah. He is getting stronger by the second. We've got Ludens and Fiendish Codex on Weedfish. He got a lovely chunk of gold there. He's back in this game. Packer got himself 3 assists. He's got some items completed. This has been such a big turnaround. The gold was in IGNI's favor, I believe, by about a K, but it swung 1,000 back in the favor of AMG now. So this is where they want to be when they've got a team fight comp. They're not letting the game be snowballed on. They're taking these fights and they're outplaying on the team play side of it. Like you said, their macro was just better there. Interesting decisions by IGNI have led to AMG being in a very comfortable position as 1995 has maybe been caught up again. The ult has to come up. He's in a 3v1. Oh, a very nice flash. He flashes past the Braum queue. He might be able to get away here. He's got that short tumble cooldown, but no, that is going to be it. Pineapple gets in with that ultimate. Very nice effort for 1995, but he's going to go down. And now Sojin is diving. He's going to get that stun with the root. The cleanse comes out, and now he uses that on his hourglass. He's going to go down. Ventum has to go in and clean it up. Lucky for him that Ventum was here. He is going to get a shutdown as well. But another interesting mid lane play, maybe over-aggressive by Sojin.
I think they're just desperate at this point. They really want to try and force, and because they know their comp gets outscaled.
Now Ventum's been caught in the jungle by Packer. He is going to jump away. There's no ultimate yet. Flash is up for Packer though. He's not going to get the isolated slow on those missiles. It's too much to surmount. Ventum sneaks away as now AMG are knocking on this top lane.
Ooh, the Scion ultimate was 1 second away from coming up. That
Yeah.
was really close.
Yeah, that would have been good. I think if he had it, do you think he could have caught Kaz?
If
And
with
I
the
would-
ultimate for sure. But the most interesting part about this is now how the gold is on the members of AMG. They have their ADC who has nearly 2k lead, their support has nearly 600 gold lead, and their mid laner has a 500 gold lead. IGNI has the gold lead on the top lane of the map, on the Vayne. That's the only win condition they have right now, and they are not succeeding with it. They
Yeah, we
have to
haven't.
change something of their playstyle.
I think Jack needs to sharpen up a little bit. We've seen him make some questionable engages here. Though you say he is on that vein, he's got that infinite, almost infinite scaling going right into that late game with that true damage. Sivir as well. They're going to have a lot of damage coming out here. Ventum acquitting himself as well in this final. He does have 3 kills to 1 death. He's got decent farm. He's getting scaled up. Got that Dustblade. Maybe going towards a Black Cleaver, I imagine that Phage is going to build into. So he is going to be relevant, absolutely. And it's going to be a tricky task to keep Weedfish and Noah alive. Noah does have the Kai'Sa ultimate to help with that, but Ventum is so good at sliding, nipping into that backline and eviscerating your carries. They're going to have to be very wary. Good use of vision, I guess, with the team fight. As we see, they do have this. Lots of pinks in their own jungle, lots of wards around, so they will hopefully see Ventum coming as they now converge to start A-ramming this mid lane tower.
I don't know what to think about this situation right now for IGNI. It's really troublesome because the Vayne isn't getting to do what she needs to do for her win condition. She's being forced to group with her team, even though I don't think this is necessary at all. Because you're in a comp with Sivir Morgana, and I feel like the disengage from IGNI is really strong, and they can constantly peel back with the Kha'Zix slow, the Alistar, etc. I really think that Vayne should just be camping in the side lane right now, and I don't even know why they're contesting this Infernal.
Like we've got a 5-man brewing. They are going to get it. They melt it down very quickly, but surely AMG to take this fight. A nice condemn. Stops Pineapple Pack in the backline. They're getting mashed up here. Here come the tanks. They're onto Sojin. He is surely going to go down. Pineapple's gone down first, though. He is there. Where is Noah? He is the key here. He is the damage. Look at Ventum on the backside. Noah's coming in, though. He's running rampant. Here's that overcharge. Here's that heal just for speed. He's going to take down Vayne. That's going to be a triple kill for him. Ventum has to back away. Nothing he can do as the side of AMG just steamroller over IGNI, I should say.
Yeah, this is what I mean. They're opting for team fights against the team fight comp when they've specifically drafted split push and wave clear, and then having the Kha'Zix to shadow your split pusher and pick off people who are coming to follow. It just, I can't understand it. I really think they need to just change the way they're playing right now. I feel like
the AMG is going for a Baron right now.
Yeah, they can. They've got the Mountain. They've got Kai'Sa. This is going to go.
He has no vision at all.
Ventum's going to be sneaking over. They don't have any vision over this wall. Ventum might have to look for a hero still, but he might meet Pineapple on his way. It's going to get a little sketchy. They don't have Smite yet. Ventum's actually here. They're going to go on him. Are they going to commit over? Piney's flashes over. Noah flashes over, kills him. Weedfish ultimate. He's down. That's going to be a clean Baron there. Very nice, taking out Ventum. AMG securing this Baron. This is so good for a team like this.
Yeah, it's really sad because IGNI are opting into the fights that AMG are like daring them to take. They're saying, look, we can take this Infernal Drake fight. We don't care if you get the Drake. We just want the fight. We can force the Baron. We can force the objectives. That's what our comp's made to do. Why are they not playing around the split push? It's really baffling to me.
They've got a nice potential pick onto Paka here. Decent damage. There's not that much. There's no MR on Paka yet. He's going to walk away, but now they need to make sure they don't get counter-engaged on. The Braum Q has come down. They don't want to commit overly to... Oh, hang on. It's like Paka does. He wants a slice of this one. He's gone on Sojin. He's knocked him up. He's got that Q. Can they follow it up? In comes the Killer A6 and he destroys them. Ooh. Here comes the Braum ultimate. Luke as well is caught out. This is a double kill for Weedfish. This is exactly what they need. Now they have the Baron push. They've got the wave mid lane. They've got both carries down from IGNI. This is going from bad to worse for them.
That was a really good play by Alone. I don't know if anyone saw that, but he basically timed his CC perfectly on that one to stop the Sivir from being able to shield it. It was really nice.
He has been on fire today. Big part of the fact that they're winning this bot lane. 1-1 and 13 on this Braum, matching with his 8-1 and 6 carry. And now Ventum's still on the side. This has been the story of this game. He's on the side. He wants to get in. He wants to try and make something happen, but he just can't. They're so tightly knit. This teamfight comp is playing so well together. Axel's coming in. He's only got Paka though. Here comes Ventum onto Noali. There's no ultimate. He has to flash out though. He is maybe going to die. Noali is so low. That's a nice Weedfish ultimate. Pineapple on the back is attacking Luke, but now they've got the lockups. They've won this one. IGNI have taken this fight, and now they're the ones chasing them down. OG Weedfish is going to get surely taken away by Jack here. Can he finish them off? He's almost so close. He gets it. He trades. Alone now. Stuck on his own. He is alone in that jungle. Ventum's going to clean him up. That is a very nice fight from IGNI, though. They actually get not a great engage, but they are able to chase down AMG, chase them out of the base, and hold on to this inhibitor.
That's such a huge mistake from Pineapple and Weedfish, I believe, on that one. I think Weedfish used his ult on a ulted Alistar, and I think it was Sojin he used it on, and he died, but he really needs to save the ult to kill either the Kha'Zix or the Sivir, because the Morg isn't the one doing the big damage in these team fights, and he's the only one on this team comp with long range burst that can kill the targets before they effectively enter the fight. He needs to make sure that he's holding his cooldowns and waiting for that opportunity, rather than trying to force something.
Yeah, the Kha'Zix, Ventum does finally find his moment there. He manages to slip in, gets them a good start to that fight. Noeli does live importantly. 700 gold shutdown, now sitting on this Kai'Sa. He's got 3.5 items done. He is becoming more and more scary, but if they can actually get this shutdown gold maybe onto the Vayne, maybe onto Luke, they can actually maybe turn around and catch up in these items, and if they can find fights like this, well then, they definitely have a way back into this game. Oh, hang on a second, they've caught out alone. This is exactly what they needed. Here comes the Bromo. But in comes Killer Instinct. They've knocked him up. This has been turned around. Noah's legendary. This has gone so wrong. Oh my goodness. The Kai'Sa following up, coming in to save his support. He says, you were saving me in lane. Now I'm going to do the same for you, my friend. That is Ventum down. And Axile, the Engage is down. And now Ventum, their assassin is down. This is surely going to be this inhibitor falling now. Another mistake. It looked like Alone's mistake, but it ends up being IGNI that are caught out. It looks like AMG are maybe going for the win here. They've got a W onto Shojin. They've got a 3 versus 5 man advantage. They don't have a huge wave. They don't have the Baron. They need to make sure they don't take too much damage from this tower. Pack has been locked up. He is going to get melted by this Vayne. He's actually chased them out, and now they need to leave. They don't even get the tower. Another slight misstep by AMG, maybe greeting a little too hard for this win.
That damage from the Ori is massive, though. Did you see the chunk onto the Vayne?
Yeah.
I think they've got to watch out in these like really tight areas. Like they keep pressing together, and against Sivir and Morgana, you don't want to do that. The Morg, Tormented Soil, and the Boomerang Blade, they're gonna mince you up if you just sit in these corridors and let it happen to you. But
yeah, the Sivir, the auto attacks as well, the W Ricochet can just go between everybody and do so much crit damage. He has 2.5 items now. IGNI Luke has been pretty far behind this game, if I'm honest. He's still not hit that 3 items well behind the Kai'Sa, but he's doing a respectable amount of damage in these fights. He's not getting caught out too often as well, and the Mountain Drake is taken, a second Mountain Drake for the side of AMG. They have this inhibitor down. They've got the Baron up coming up in a little while. Do you think they're going to go for the push, or do you think they should just wait for this Baron?
I think, honestly, they shouldn't get greedy, because you've already proven, like, in that sequence of events, that they can't push them out of the base. Like, they can't just dive them from full HP. It's not feasible. I think they just need to wait for the Baron, let IGNI come to them, and force the 5v5, or take the Baron. It's a win-win situation for them.
They do have Packer's teleport coming up in a little bit. He is sitting in that bottom lane. Going to be matched by Jack, though. It's going to be important to see whether he actually gets picked off. He needs to make sure he doesn't get engaged on by this Vayne. Vayne has Gwynsu's, Bork, and Phantom down, so she is very strong right now. She can absolutely beat this Sion in a 1v1 if she manages to catch her out. Just has to hold this tower. Looks like he wants it. He's gone with that Blade the Ruin King, but he's just going to get retreated back. And here comes the Sivir engage. Now they're going on to Alone again. They've got 4 men here. Sojin, he's got Noeli. He's flashed in. They've shut him down. They've taken Noah down. The carry is dead. And now AMG are in full retreat. Alone is going to go down. They finally catch them out. Pineapple running for his life. He has his flash to get out of this pit. He is going to be forced to use it, I imagine. And now this could be the Baron going over to the side of IGNI.
Okay.
I did not see that one coming. I have to say that.
This is the 2 sides of the Noah coin.
Yeah, that is true. We have seen Noah make these plays before. I say plays, make these mistakes before. Jack is knocking on the door of the base. Pack is tied up there. Axile's zoning away Pineapple. The Baron is just going to get shoved down here. They don't have that much damage, though, without an AD carry. Luke is there. They don't have 1995 here, so they are going to retreat off it. Looks like they're going to go for the engage instead. They've caught Wheatfish. Axel has got him. He's got the ultimate on, but can his team catch up? Wheatfish has the cleanse if needed. He's got that flash almost. Luke needs to be wary of this Orianna damage. Oh, he very nicely dodges that binding, and Noah's alive. He's back to get revenge. He's coming in. He's ulting in, and now Jack is in here. They need to chase him down. They're going to surely take him down here. That is going to be it. It's another 3 kills. Aventum comes in. He actually finishes off OG Wheatfish, but he goes down to the Decathian Rain, and look at those minions. That is surely going to be it. An ace for the side of AMG. IGNI chasing too hard, trying to secure it. They peel off the Baron. Noah revives, wins his team the fight, and this is going to be the victory surely for AMG in game 1.
I really think... Oh no, sorry, I mean, you finish your point, mate.
I was already ready to buy comeback tickets for IGNI.
Yeah, same.
Looking so good for them, but they overstayed way too much.
Axel goes in for one last ditch attempt, another nice knock-up, he'll lose his life, and they will lose this game. Noah, 15-2-7 on this Kai'Sa, absolutely phenomenal performance there. One misstep maybe in the mid lane, and it's very hard to get away really from that Sivir engagement. He doesn't have his team around him, but that is just very, very strong from AMG. They take a decisive win in this first game. They move to 1-0, and now maybe our predictions are turning on their heads there. They've got that one game.
Win, it wasn't wholly convincing. They made so many mistakes and so many slip-ups, and IGNI's comp is so much harder to execute. I can't sit here and say, oh, look, AMG are going to win because they won this one game with a really easy-to-execute comp. But I think this series might be closer than we might have expected previously.
Yeah, I feel so too, but I hope to see like a clearer game plan from IGNI. Like at the moment, their game plan was Vayne top lane, Morgana mid lane, Assassin jungler. They had all kinds of champions on the comp. I want them to have a clear game plan, clear comp, and play for their strengths.
That is something that we know AMG to be doing all the time. They've built this teamfight comp. They won with that teamfight comp. They played it really very well when it comes down to those macro decisions and picking the fights. They played the fights exceptionally well, and we just had to watch IGNI just get picked apart. Well, you say they didn't really draft themselves a cohesive comp, and they didn't really play it to any particular style as well. A lot of people, the Vayne TPing in for 5v5s and not split pushing. Maybe Axel getting caught out too many times, going aggressive into the enemy jungle without support. Just look a little bit nervous, a little bit shaky here in that first game. We'll need to see if they can patch it up for game 2. We will go to a short break just now for you guys. We'll be back very shortly with game 2 of this Equinox League Finals, IGNI versus Aquamarine Gaming. Do not go anywhere.
The summer's calling. The summer's calling. If the kingdom is overthrown, meet me at the cornerstone. I know that I can't be without you. This bond is solid gold. We're a diamond and an emerald. It took me forever to find you. 'Cause when it's all over, the love that you give will be there to guide you in every way. Now we've been through the cold and darkest days. The summer's calling. As we wait for the smoke to clear and we watch our dreams appear, I know that we can rise together. This vision that we share is ours. Together we can touch the stars. I know that we will see December. 'Cause when it's all over, the love that you give will be there to guide you in every way. Now we've been through the cold and darkest days. The summer's calling.
stupid if they swept them.
Yeah.
Okay, that is us back online here with Game 2 of the Equinox League Finals. Aquamarine Gaming versus IGNI. AMG leading this series 1-0. Pretty much against the predictions of most of us here. A lot of us expected IGNI to take this first win. They were 21-1. They've looked super dominant, but honestly, they looked like they just lacked a little bit of cohesion here. What do you guys feel about how that game went?
I think IGNI was just trolling with the comp. Honestly, I think they're gonna get like a better draft now, play for their win conditions, and tie up the situation.
Yeah, I feel like ease of execution was the big thing. You can look at IGNI's comp, and I think an LCS level team would probably have trouble executing that. You look at AMG's, nice simple team fight. You go in with a Sign, you go in with a Jarvan, boom, you're done. Hopefully we'll see changes in draft, and maybe a counter pick for Sojin with the last pick, because now they're on red side.
True, that is probably going to be quite important. We saw Weedfish exploiting that, not taking himself a dominant matchup against that Morgana, picked himself an Orianna, but played that out incredibly well, had some very high impact ultimates, really kind of kept his own, or held his own in that mid lane, was a big force in those team fights for his team, allowing Noah to go off there as he likes to do. If we talk about counter picks and maybe different drafts as well, how do you feel Axile needs to pick himself up after that game? He had a very rough Alistair game, some very nice engages, some very nice 5-man knockups, but they weren't timed properly, didn't have the support of his team. Do you think he needs to maybe switch it up for this game?
Yeah, I think he should. He probably should have taken the Morgana that last game, honestly, in my opinion. But I think this coming game, we've seen Axel play a lot of the Karma, the more magey type supports. I think he'd feel more at home playing those because he's more of a mid laner. That's been his most recent role. Maybe a Karma, maybe a Nami, Zillion, something like that. Something that can sort of chill back and get carried rather than an engaged support.
Yeah, Zillion would be a decent flex pick as well, as we know that Sojin is a big proponent of the Zillion here. Definitely very skilled on that champion. Omena, how do you feel that Zillion really stacks up as a mid laner right now?
It's really playable. I don't see any problem picking it. You just need to have carries on other roles then. But I don't think that's a problem since we already saw the Vayne top lane and Kha'Zix's jungle.
True, they might synergize quite well with there. So that would, if they opted to go back for that same kind of multiple carries, not really any front line, a lot of split push, mainly getting to win those lanes and take maybe skirmishes and win those. If they opt to go back for that, the Zillion could be very effective. Do you guys think that they'll be able to play, they maybe should mix up the style a little bit, or do you think they're going to stick with this kind of lane-focused, a little bit more complex execution, or do you think they're maybe going to go for something a little simpler?
In my opinion, since they are one game down, maybe they should simple it up a little bit, at least. Maybe even try to match them in teamfights and just go from that.
I think if you're IGNI, you want to prove that you're better individually. And if you're better individually, then going double easy to execute comps, you can clearly see who's better, and that would be a big confidence boost for them if they were able to take it home. So, if I was them, I'd try and bring it to AMG rather than, do the hard to execute strat.
Yeah, we did see the Zac hovered by Ventum last time. Maybe we'll see him look up for maybe a Zac or something more similar, though that's definitely not the style he usually plays. We'll have to see how much they adjust in this draft. As we get into pick and ban here, the Corki has been taken away from Sojin once more. He is currently still positioned in that mid lane in the draft, though obviously we know this is not set in stone. The Rek'Sai is also away from Ventum, and that's been matched by the Vayne Braum takeaways from IGNI. So Noah still not getting a chance to play that Vayne. They know he has the first pick, so they probably don't want to deal with that one. And then Alone, we were talking about this in between games. Alone actually had a really stellar performance on that Braum. Definitely an unsung hero in that last game.
Yeah, I think he really, really popped off, to be honest. In my opinion, he was the one who carried that game. Noah got the kills, but Braum did massive amounts of work for the setup. Felt like he hit every Q, every ultimate. Always peeled for Noah extremely well in the team fights.
They've taken away that Braum. They've also taken away Alone's standard Thresh, so he is going to have to be forced onto something new this time. The bans from AMG have actually been identical to last game. They're clearly happy with the way that one went. You know, no need to, don't fix what ain't broke, so we'll have to see what their first pick is going to be. The Kennen's available, the Kaiser's available again, and it is going to be the Kennen that you were talking about last pick and ban. Paka on this team fight engage now has one of the best in the business.
Yeah, this is really, really huge, I think, on blue side to take the Kennen because it neutralizes a counter pick top lane. Unless you're going to play something like the Rise or the Jace, there's really no point to try and take a carry or something against this Kennen because it's just going to neutralize you, it's going to outsplit push you, it's going to out team fight you. It's not a fun experience to be on the receiving end of Kennen. I think this is a big pickup for them. It's probably Packer's best champion along with the Scion, and it's far less easily countered by something like a Vayne top. So I think it's a huge pickup for him.
Through, and they have picked up this Kai'Sa as well for the side of IGNI, their first pick, not letting Noah on that one. So he has now denied the Vayne, he's denied the Kai'Sa. Do you think we maybe could see the Jinx this game?
I wouldn't be surprised, but into Kai'Sa Galio, it's a pretty hard lane. I feel like we might see the Tristana that I was mentioning earlier because it's a lot safer, and I think it pairs well with the supports that are left in Alone's champion pool. I think he's still got the Pike left, maybe a Tom Kench. I'm not really sure what else he plays other than the Thresh and the Braum. He hasn't had to show it yet.
Have to see as the Morgana now comes out for the side of AMG. So Cologne is there still on a pick champion, but definitely not one with as much frontline potential. We'll have to see. He's still going to be peeling for Noah, I imagine, quite effectively on this champion. And Weedfish hovering the Yasuo right now. I would be pretty excited to see a Weedfish Yasuo. Champion that this guy's played a lot before, but it's actually going to be the Twitch. We saw it banned first game, and I wasn't quite sure why, but now I guess we know. Noah wants to take this Twitch up. We'll have to see if this one can actually be very impactful. It's very kind of unique way that Twitch interacts with those lanes using that stealth and able to get some very surprising kills.
That's a big ball pick, if you ask me. When you pick Twitch, you're basically throwing away the laning phase. You're saying, I'm not going to win this lane. As we see a mouth, that's big as well. But more onto the Twitch, I think this is like a gauntlet being thrown down. This is just them saying, we're better than you at 2v2. You're not going to win lane versus us. We're going to get to scale, and I'm going to 1v9 the game.
Well, no, just
I really like the Twitch Morgana bot lane. Morgana is a straight-up counter for Galio, and I don't think Galio Kai'Sa can do that much against Twitch Morgana. I think that's just too big to scale.
Yeah, I guess if you don't have that taunt setup, then it's hard to get the Killer Instinct proc, maybe. It's hard to get in, and Twitch has that stealth to get away, plus the return damage if you overstep. Now, let's take a little check back in, as you did mention it when it came out. The Malphite has come out for IGNI. Think this is going to be top lane? You think 975 is going to just sacrifice his lane to try and match him in teamfight presence? Or do you think this is maybe going to be memed into another lane?
This could honestly go mid as well. I've seen Sojin play it against us, so yeah, I've got my own experience with that. But the Malphite top into the Kennen isn't that bad of a matchup. You take the Comet, you go Corrupting Part, and you go for a more anti-poke heavy style with the Catalyst. You can survive the lane. Honestly, you can even poke the Kennen out before you can even get a chance to do anything, and even have solo kill pressure. Karthus pickup is pretty big though, because this is also a flex. They haven't shown anything yet.
Yeah, I think Sojin is definitely he's one of these players who can play literally anything in this mid lane. He's got every single type of style. He's got a champion for that kind of style. And then this Karthus, which you could see, it's not a traditional Ventum champion, but it's very strong in the jungle right now. Or we might just see Sojin take it as the bans that came down before this phase. The Zac and the Ivern were taken away from Pineapple here. Don't want to deal with the Ivern protecting that Twitch, I guess. And then the Zac, obviously just a customary ban against AMG. And it was the Hecarim and the J4 bans against Ventum before this potential Karthus was locked in. So they still were taking away those aggressive, strong, early AD junglers. Now he might have just flipped it on its head by taking this Karthus, just farming up and doing huge amounts of damage late game. As, dude, this is a gauntlet being thrown out absolutely by the side of AMG. They've taken the Zillion for Weedfish, I imagine. Weedfish is definitely a Zillion player. He is proficient on this champion. And then Pineapple taking the Lee Sin, absolutely throwing down a challenge here.
This is very, very dangerous. This could honestly flip on its head.
I don't know
this is going to be a
where
Karthus mid.
I'm not sure. I guess.
Oh, so they're taking the Olaf jungle.
I mean, it could be Karthus mid, Olaf top, and then Karthus jungle.
It could even be Karthus top lane. Like you.
This is. We'll have to see how this one shapes up. It looks like we will be getting Ventum on Olaf jungle, Malphite top lane, and the Karthus mid for Sojin there. So this is how these teams have stacked up. This has been a very interesting draft. I mean, I hesitate to ask who won it because they're so strange that I think it's really hard to tell, honestly. I don't know. Any thoughts?
I don't think I'm even comfortable like saying who's going to win this game.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to so many small things.
I think
Like
this is execution. Yeah.
yeah, it's like what lane Ventum will go and stuff like that. But if it goes to like again Baron fights and stuff like that, and Noah can gather up 2 to 3 items with Zillian and Morgana, he seems pretty unkillable.
Yeah, he's got a lot of defenses there, plus Paco with that huge teamfight presence. Pineapple is kind of the variable here with that Lee Sin. It's a champion that can be so strong early and mid, or potentially if you fall behind, it's just absolutely unable to do anything. I think that I feel like the side of IGNI has a better team fight, maybe, just because of the fact that Olaf can just get away and cut through all of the nonsense that is the Zillion bombs and the cannon ult, and can get onto Noah to force an early Zillion ult perhaps, or to maybe just actually just kill the guy off. And then Heiser's such a strong teamfight champion, has the ability to use Killer Instinct to reposition. Galio ult can maybe be a big factor here, and then Sojourn this Karthus is just infinitely scaling up with that ult damage, so I don't know. I feel like IGNI they've definitely drafted something which feels a little easier to execute in terms of just being strong in team fights, but I think it's definitely a really tough one to call. AMG have a lot of strong things on their side, and like I was saying earlier, they seem to be just very, very confident right now, picking these champions which they're not doing the traditional tanks frontline teamfight comp with a hyper carry. They've got a bit of an edgy Twitch pick there. They've got Kennen on Paka, but everyone else is just kind of picking very out of the ordinary, I would say.
I feel like the AMG comp can crumple like really easily though. Like one misposition and you have to blow the Zillion ult on maybe the Lee Sin or the Kennen.
Yeah.
I think IGNI's is like it has like a lot easier time in front to back than the AMG side. AMG side, you have to force with a Kennen engage or a Kennen flank, and there's no real way to like get in there, if you know what I mean. Whereas Ignis is just kind of Malphite ult into Karthus ult into Galio, etc. You know, it just easily flows. But I feel like even though AMG's is higher risk, it can be higher reward.
Yeah.
Mostly I'm scared of the Lee Sin pick. I have no idea how it's going to go against Olaf. I'm pretty sure Olaf is supposed to win that matchup.
Yeah, I think so.
So with Zillion mid lane, I think he's pretty screwed early game. Karthus is like a high skill cap mid laner. If you land your Qs, your DPS is really high early game. So I don't think they can 2v2 fight against Olaf Karthus. So if this Lee Sin goes behind, I think AMG's game plan might go straight to garbage can.
Yeah. Weedfish is probably just going to be looking more for that wave clear style with the Zillion. He's got that TP ready to help out his team, and we know how strong AMG are at rotating to those team players. And you were saying earlier, Artie, that this is a thing where one mistake, one false position, or one mistaking position can actually just cost them a Zillion ult, can cost them a team fight, can cost them the game. And we've seen Noah make these kind of mistakes in the past, and he doesn't have the Kai'Sa, doesn't have the Vayne. Twitch has the invisibility, but it doesn't activate straight away if you're kind of on top, and he doesn't have any other mobility options. I feel like it's so much more punishing for Noah if he gets caught out, and when he's up against a Malphite with a Galio and an Olaf as well, like I feel it's going to be very difficult to keep them off this Twitch pick. So I think Noah's going to have even more pressure than usual on his shoulders this game.
I think it's going to be really, really hard for him to get work done in these fights as well. To be honest, they've got even with the Morg Shield, right? You're talking about a Karthus ult, a Malphite ult, Galio CC combo. Like the Black Shield can maybe hold one of those, not all three. He will at least have to be Zillion ulted in these fights, if not more. I think it's about whether Paka and Pioneer's Pineapple can pick up the slack when this happens to him, rather than trying to, have this Twitch like frontline and 1v9.
Yeah, they do have a lot of impact they can make for sure. Paka able to turn these fights around on Kennen. He manages to get ahead against this Malphite. You got to imagine probably going to pull out some sort of CS lead in this lane. Now, if you can translate into good team fight depth, you will be able to swing this one. need to see. One person, so I really am looking towards Axel here. He's in the same kind of champion. He's on an engage tank. He doesn't have the Alistair ult to maybe get himself out of trouble though. And then it's just naturally not quite as naturally of a tankier champion. And we saw some of his engages going pretty badly awry last game. So if he maybe keeps that same problem in this game, I think we might see this Galio being dead more than he's alive at this point. We'll have to see if he's able to turn this one around, shake off the last game loss, and sharpen up, see if he can get more done for his team. As you said, that Morgana does kind of counter this Galio, so I think he doesn't have an easy task in this lane.
Yeah, I would still give it the bot lane. I think it's pretty even, but Morgana will be a huge factor on that bot lane play. Like, I think this game is mostly about the junglers, and I give Ventum the edge on that one.
We did see him have a very strong performance last game on this Kha'Zix, at least in the kind of the mid game. He had a bit of a slow start, then was getting kills. He was 3-1-0, using vision in the enemy jungle very well. Olaf's absolutely a champion that can do the same thing. He can take over your jungle and just kind of run and dare anyone to try and take a 1v1 for him if he gets ahead. So we'll need to see if he's able to exert that same pressure. Pineapple obviously having a little bit more to do last game, had a little bit more impact and had a lot of good teamfight ultimates. Was definitely in the right place at the right time. Lee Sin, this guy does have almost 200k mastery on this champion, no stranger to it whatsoever. And I think you're right. I think that the way the junglers can affect these early lanes is going to spell defeat potentially for whichever one of the teams gets the worst of that, as they both have these slightly more wacky picks.
I feel like Benton is on his signature comfort pick, and he should have mid prio this game. Like, I don't think it's going to be easy for Pioneers to play this game out at all. Like, he's got so many barriers to contend with, because the amount of lanes that he can gank is really, really minimized as well. I feel like you can look bot, and maybe you can look mid if Sojin sort of sits in front of the mid lane tower and waits to be ganked.
Yeah.
But Ventum can gank top. He's got a Malphite ult. Ventum can gank mid, sort of, because, you know, Karthus wall. And I feel like he could easily dive bot lane with a Karthus ult coming in to help. So I feel like there's a lot more playmaking to be made from IGNI's side.
That is us onto the Rift now for this game too. We had a small break there while teams were just freshening up, getting ready, getting acquainted, stocked up for this second game. We are now going into this early start of the game here. We'll have to see if they maybe go for the same just jungle invade, or rather the invade guard that both of them went to last time. It looks like this time IGNI are going for the more 5-point defense, while Sojin is actually just still AFK in base. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another pause coming out here. He has appeared, and they've actually got deep into this brush. Kai'Sa's waiting there. He is going to see them coming though, so they're going to get that ping out. The ward is going to be cleared. They're not going to get the vision in there. Lots of masteries coming out. AMG absolutely feeling themselves after that first game as they invade in towards this blue buff. There's not that much presence to stop them there. We'll have to see if Ventum wants to maybe counter invade on the other side, or if they're just going to give this one. Looks like they're just going to get the vision, walk back to their own red buff. Nothing too crazy. We had a little bit more of an aggressive start here, but it is still going to be a standard start for these lanes.
I really wanted to see the Karthus take teleport on this lane. At
Seems-
the moment, he has gone with the Doran's ring and a defensive summoner. So I think Wheatfish will have like a pretty easy lane. He can shove out with his mana, he can use the potion to regen, and he can teleport back to lane to get it all back.
If I recall correctly, this is twice now that Sojin has foregone the TP and actually gone for a combat summon in this mid lane and given up potentially the ability to force it and really wants to fight. And you can see by this positioning already, he is stepping all the way up, going for these Qs, and he's landing them. He's getting this damage. Wheatfish taking a lot of early damage. He's down to almost a bar at level 1. That is the strength of that Karthus, and Sojin not feeling intimidated after the last game. He knows he's got the advantage here.
Yeah, he's picked himself this Karthus, and obviously given Ventum the counter pick. So it's not like he's had complete control of what he's going. Ventum's going for an unorthodox path here. He's gone red and Raptors, and he's headed to the bot side Scuttle. I feel like this might be a good read from Pioneers, though, because instead of doing red Krugs Scuttle, he's headed to the top side Scuttle. maybe looking for a topside invade after taking that.
So they are just going to trade scuttles, I imagine, and the same with the vision is in favor of IGNI on the bottom side. They had that pixel ward brush for AMG on top side as well, so no one's going to have any early skirmishes here. Bot lane is just going fairly standard. They do have to worry about this Galio Kai'Sa early damage when they can proc that passive. Definitely very scary, but Noli is happy just to sit back far up on this Twitch. Really, the mid lane is where it's all going on, as we see Sojin. He's going so aggressive with these Qs, and hang on a second, Pineapple's going for an early gank. He's got on top of him. Can he get that Q? The minion wave is going to be his friend here. A bomb, and it's forced the flash, and the exhaust has come down as well. That is Sojin. You were expecting him, wondering if he was going to walk up mid lane and wait to be ganked. He kind of did there and has lost both his summoners for this.
Yeah, I feel like it's...
Oh, hang on a second. Ventum, though, with the return gank up behind Wheatfish, he still has his flash. We're actually not looking at it, but now here we do. We see it. A nice stun there. Very close. Holding the flash, holding his nerve again. Wheatfish walks away with his life and is going to have to TP back to that lane.
That's a really, really good play by Wheatfish. I think he set the bomb on himself and then ran into Ventum, so he got the stun, and Ventum wasn't expecting it, obviously, because normally it's if the bombs like cross on top of each other, but that little interaction managed to save him a summoner spell.
Did have enough gold to get that Dark Seal and a pink as well. Not a bad buy at all for that first TP. Wheatfish is down. Double the CS though of Sojin. He has been so heavily pressured out of this lane. Sojin is going to get a vastly stronger buy, or perhaps not actually, because it's only that much. He's just going to get mana and boots. So actually, I think the better buy does go to Wheatfish here with that the Dark Seal combining with the Corrupting Potion. So he's actually done very well for himself in this early levels, not gotten put too far behind, as Paka is really making 1995's life a living hell. He is getting some revenge for last game for that Vayne into Sion matchup, perhaps.
I think... No, the Malphite's trading really well into it. The Q just took like 3/4 of his health. I think he spoke too soon. The damage is really coming through.
As long as he can clean up enough of these CS, he'll actually be in a fairly comfortable position, I guess. But Paco wants to pressure him under this tower. Not quite handy in that Q. Can he get the cannon? Can he do it? I imagine he does. Does get it, so he is going to be fine here. As Ventum's now moving on to this bot side. This is a lot more early pressure we're seeing from him this game. Oh, very low on that Malphite. He's waiting. Pineapple is also waiting in the wings, but they spotted him. They had a ward on him, and now he's moving into that bot side. Pineapple matching him. If Wheatfish comes down, Ventum could be in a very dicey position here if he gets the bomb off. Ventum is kind of corralled towards this mid lane. Can he get it? There comes the wall, but now Galio is rotated up. Ventum's taking so much damage. The Ignite is down. The bomb is ticking. He is going to live as a first blood. 4 alone. The final tick of Ignite just about does it. Nice rotation. Ventum walking too far into that jungle, maybe not respecting the vision, and AMG punished that early aggression.
Yeah, that's really, really nice to see the rotation from MG. I like the way that they just sacrificed a little bit there. They gave up some XP because the bot lane wave was pushing into IGNI and also the mid lane wave. So they're giving up a lot of their resources just to make sure that they can get these picks and save Pioneer's jungle, I'd say. It's really nice to see this team cohesion going through.
Yeah, these guys are not going to let any of them down. These are a very long-standing team here in the EU Amateur League scene. We see them across many leagues, and they are absolutely, they stayed together a long time. They're having huge impacts, and they're performing so well as we see them in this finals of Equinox League with this one-game lead, with this early game lead in the second game. They are looking so strong right now as the bot lane is putting on the pressure. The Kai'Sa and the Galio shoved back under their tower. Wheatfish has found his feet in this mid lane. He hasn't really lost. The CS deficit has remained the same as it was on that first back. And top lane, Paka is pushing in that top lane as well. So this is really a great start for Aquamarine Gaming in this second game.
Even though everything is going pretty well for AMG, their mid laner is 15 CS down. I think that's a pretty huge CS deficit since he decided to go for that TP. So if we look at that, Sujin is doing really well on that lane.
We saw him miss that melee minion. Maybe that's why he's 15 CS behind. Maybe he's just not so cute on the zillion CS. Not a very strong auto attack. AMG, though, they've identified that the bot lane has gone back and they're rotating straight onto this Ocean Drake. This is very strong in the laning phase. It's absolutely, this is the kind of thing that Wheatfish wants to see. It'll help keep him topped up in that Karthus lane when he's getting aggressed on. So good objective, early objective control by AMG. We saw it last game, and we're seeing it again this game.
Even top lane is even in CS. That's actually incredible.
I don't think Malphite's as bad as it seems in this matchup. Like, him with the Comet and the Q-Max, they can really, really match the Cannon's poke because it's targeted versus skill shot. and obviously Cannon's got to look for the auto attacks to deal anywhere near as much damage as one Malphite Q. So it's not too bad. It's just the CS deficit should be larger, I feel, top lane.
Yeah, for sure. It should be way
It is
larger.
it's a ranged into a melee matchup.
Yeah, we see 1995 holding his own very well there. Ventum clearing out that vision on the dragon. Pineapple is still on this bot side though. He is spending a lot of time around this bot lane. This is very important for them. They need Noah to be a big factor, and he has identified that. This is a pretty common strategy for them, as Ventum is also spending a lot of time on that bot side, but he is more focusing on the mid lane. Wheatfish is the one suffering all this pressure from Sojourn. Nice use of the bombs to maybe zone him out, but he's missing CS here. He can't get to his own wave.
This Carthus Q's like,
Oh,
they're doing like a quarter of his health per hit. Like, he's really got to watch out.
Yeah,
maybe
good.
Maybe a
push
Boots
back on their own
purchase.
tower. Yeah, I think boots are definitely in order here to get those fancy feet going. Ventum goes in behind that bot lane, ends up just walking back, push behind their tower. He's searching. He really wants to find some advantage early on, but he's just not being allowed to make it. He's being quite effectively stymied out by AMG. He's not able to find those advantages. Noah going even in that CS. He's got that Cutlass well on the way to his Blade of the Ruin King. This bot lane has been remarkably civil, honestly, unlike last game, where it was a powder keg exploding at level 2 and then going from kill to kill with dives throughout the game. Now, it's really just kind of allowed to farm up. Noah knows, I guess, maybe he doesn't have quite an easy of a time to get that win. Just sitting back, farming up, still going to be strong for his team. Oh, no one to pick up the plate gold either. Oh, it doesn't actually go down. Doesn't get it. Nice. Calculated.
Just about 28 HP on that plate.
Ooh, hang on a second. Speaking of not quite so calculated, Packer's got himself in the wrong side of town. He's got 3 people coming up his backside, but he is going to get away, force his flash over that wall. Ocean was rotating too. Knows he has to use that flash. Good use of that to keep himself alive. Doesn't even get the pink ward, unfortunately, so that is a very untimely use of his flash there.
Yeah, I don't think he needed to be there in that situation. Like, if you're going to go get a ward, I don't think you have to ward deep against this. Olaf is a champion that works very well when you're in close-effective range, and it's not like a Hecarim that pops Predator, pops Ghost, and then starts running at you. If you see Olaf, you can pretty easily get away with the cannon.
Well, these are rotating now onto Pineapple. He needs to get himself out of there. Axel's got flash. He goes in. He's going to charge that taunt. There it goes, landing. Wheatfish has rotated, but here comes Noah with those sewer skewers coming in. They're shredding them through with the damage. Oh my goodness, a double kill, a quick double for Noah. The Wheatfish's ult keeps Alone alive, and that one was looking a little dicey for the side of AMG, but now the pack of TP has come in. He's gone for the Carthus. He's not going to get it, though. He is going to get back. He's going to get that stun, but Carthus is going to live under his own tower. Not even an opportunity for him to use the ultimate there. Looked like good rotations of IGNI, but they get matched so well by AMG.
I don't really know what IGNI are trying to do in that situation. It's another blunder from Axar, really, where he's just trying to force an engage on... I don't even remember, was it Pineapple though?
Yes, yeah, they're trying to force Pineapple up the jungle. Does get the taunt, but Wheatfish gets to rotate over quickly, and then he has the ultimate there, and there's just not much he can actually do about it with Noah raining down those auto attacks from the ultimate.
It's just another clump up in tight space and then get shredded by Noah situation for IGNI.
They can't keep getting away with it, Artie. They can't keep getting away with it.
It's criminal at this point.
But that fight was like Alone's highlight reel, basically. That
Yeah.
Morgana flash was really good. Like,
This guy's 1v9.
even Ventum realized that there is no point in flashing away. You cannot escape that Morgana.
Yeah. Lona quitting himself again. A very different style of champion here. Got that Morgana after the Brom. He's playing the mages. He's playing the tanks. What cannot this guy play? He's having so much impact and Exile on another engaged tank. Still not able to find his footing on this champion. Packer with that TP, not quite necessary. Loses a plate. 1995 is going to get a little bit of gold in his pocket, but this is the kind of play that we need to see Packer making. We're seeing him responding to the team plays, coming in to support with that cannon. And now we have to expect that to go into this mid lane. If we head into, we take stock of this game so far. We're 12 minutes in. It's about 1k gold in AMG's favor. What do you think is going to be the big kind of decider going into this mid game? What do you think that IGNI need to do to try and claw themselves back into this game, seeing how the game has gone so far?
By the look of Sujin's build, I think he needs to have Ludens, his penetration boots, and Oblivion Orb.
Yeah.
That's when they need to fight.
That's the big mid-game spike for Carthus.
Also, he's going to have level 11 by 10. So I think IGNI should aim to fight then.
Pineapple's
Like,
on the
that was-
second ocean, but Ventum is actually rotating. There's a man advantage there currently. Wheatfish is not quite there yet. Pineapple
Oh
going
my
so
God.
low. The axe and the dragon
God.
absolutely destroying him. He needs to get away, but Noah is now shredding axe again. Here comes Paka again with the support. Look at that ultimate. He is gonna very nice stopwatch that keeps him alive, but now here's 1995. He gets up to Noah. He's down. Luke is alive. This is the turn they needed. The
Oh
double
my
bumps of Wheatfish
God.
to try and get his team away. Ventum is going low as well. Pineapple is now he is going to clean him up actually. Ventum's going to go down. A nice kick away. Luke with a bomb on him. This is going to be a little close. He's going to go down.
Oh,
Wheatfish
he
has it
died.
left. He's got that Hextech revolver and now it's being turned around for AMG. The bomb's gone to Sojin. He's going to go down.
no, it's still
Now
on.
1995. Here comes the ultimate.
Is he gonna
Alone.
die?
Can he live? Does he have Black Shield? He is going to live. It's not strong enough. Wheatfish. Can he get it? He's got the bomb
Movement?
himself. He can't go near Sojin. He flashes in, gets it with the bomb explosion. Wheatfish, you absolute beast. AMG, they take it back. It looked so bad, but they end up winning that team fight.
That's really, really grim to see if you're IGNI right now, because that's one of the best fights you can possibly hope for. The Twitch and the Zillion being split apart, the Morgana shield being broken through, really, really good Malphite ult coming in, but I think they're just fighting a little too early. They really, really need to get these items on the Karthus, the Kaiser, and the Malphite before they start doing these plays, because at this point, I think AMG are much stronger. They have Morgana, who's much more effective on a low econ build than Galio is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Lee Sin is at his spike. He's got the Warrior. Kennan's got the Proto Belt. Zillion's always going to be useful. I think you just need to wait for that big Karthus damage to come through and carry a fight.
Yeah, I think that Galio is definitely a champion. It feels like unless you have so many tanky items, he's really deceptively squishy. He doesn't have very good bases at all. He only has health right now. And the fact that he's behind as well means that Noah just shredded him through in that fight. He wasn't able to get anything done. Wheatfish actually caught out Sojin by this Rift Herald. He's got the GLP to slow him down. This is going to be an easy pickup. The 2v1 Sojin caught walking around the river, and this is probably going to be a Rift Herald pickup for the side of AMG as a binding lands onto Luke. He's been locked up. He's been sprayed down. Noel's taking him down. It's falling apart for IGNI. They're dropping people left and right, and now it's going to be a pushed up tower. Looks like Ventum is going to go onto that Dragons, try and trade objectives. 1995 waiting in the wings. They need to be slightly wary of this ultimate, but they've got the 3v1. And here goes that ult, trying to finish off the Lee Sin, but the Zillion ult comes down. It's just as easy as that, and he is going to go down. Very interesting decision by 1995, maybe feeling the tilt a little in the first time it's gone down bot lane, but here comes Ventum. He's gone through. The flash taunt does not pick up Noah. He's laying down these shots again. He's going to take down Ventum, and now the Galio ult is down straight onto that cask, and now he is just going to get run down as well. Noah dodging around that perfectly, alone keeping his team alive. A double kill for Twitch. Oh my goodness, AMG are picking IGNI apart right now.
Yeah, it just seems like IGNI are like turbo tilted. They're just.
Oh my goodness,
they're like,
that Malphite
"Get me out of
ultimate,
this
why?"
game." Yeah. I don't really know what's happening. Maybe their comms are breaking down. Maybe they just don't want to play anymore. They're trying to go on to the next game, giving them more
This-
gold so they can infest her.
This is looking like a big go next for me right
Yeah.
here, because like Malphite going in 1v3 against the Zillion ult, there's no way anything good can come of that. They lose his life, they lose the Rift Herald, which goes straight into mid lane, knocking that tower open. Bot and mid are both down. So much pressure has been opened up on the map for AMG. Noah is 5-1-3. It's happened again. He's just gotten fed again by 16 minutes. Every game, this is the story. Wheatfish is 3-0-6. He's doing actually so much work for his team. He was getting pressured in mid lane, but these ultimates and these bombs are doing so much work in team fights.
I think it's really, really good for his team that Wheatfish has taken this more utility role rather than trying to be the carry and giving the role more to Pioneers and Packer as well. It's proven to be a really, really big boon for them because by trying to shut down Sojin, it's kind of like a Crown in 2017 Worlds type of vibe where he's taking the hit but still being really useful to his team. Even though he's picking these sort of champs that can't really do much in the laning phase.
Pineapple's
like Ori.
walked into a hidden Ventum there. He's going to dash over that wall. They're going to walk away. They do have Axel coming over. He's rotating over. Wheatfish slows Ventum down now. Gets a nice stun into a binding. They're not going to follow up. It's going to be nice damage onto him. And now Sojin and Axel have rotated up to try and defend this one. They've got people pushing in this top side while Paka is matching Luke on that bottom side. He's got that shove in. He doesn't have TP available yet. They got to be wary of this Malphite ultimate. He did manage to get onto Noah in that previous dragon fight. So they know he's got the aim on point for that one. They're just going to calm down. They're not going to overcommit. This is how they lose this game. If the Karthus gets time to scale up, that's how it kind of tilts back in their favor when the Karthus just starts ulting and, you know, raw dog killing Noah without even going near him. He's actually taking a fight against this Malphite here. He is so confident right now. He's just going in on it. Even though Axile is there, Alone is backing him up. These guys have been playing so well, and actually Weedfish is going in with the GLP onto Karthus. He's taking the aggression now. The bombs get him very low. He's sped up. He's trying to chase him down. He's got one bomb. He doesn't have two. Can this do it? Can it do it? He does! He does it! Weedfish with the solo kill onto Sojin after being pushed down all lane. He's come back with a vengeance.
He's tilted. He has to be tilted.
Oh my, this is just looking so... It's looking so bad for IGNI. Sojin with both summoners up goes down. He does the ultimate and it cancels the cast. He's wasted that one. Now they're just pushing onto this top lane. It is snowballing out. It's 6k in the lead of in the side of AMG. 18 minutes in. How can they bring it back? What do they need to do to recenter? What do they need to focus on to keep themselves from losing this game in the next 5 minutes?
Get Pen on Karthus, get Rageblade on Kai'Sa, and get a miracle ult on Noah where Alone, for some reason, bangs his head on the keyboard and can't press E.
Nice.
And also Weedfish gets hit by lightning at the same time.
He also just he falls off his chair and then like puts his head through his monitor and can't play anymore. And we'll see if they can pray for that one to happen. They are actually not really making much progress on this top lane tower. They're scared to push in under the tower because of this Malphite ult, and they've spent a lot of time up here without really getting that much. So they've got level 11 on Noah now. They've got Weedfish up there. They'll probably get it eventually, but it does feel like they're not really taking this one as quickly as they could. Perhaps they're always kind of backing away.
Yeah, they still need to be really careful of what how far they can go. Like at the moment, IGNI has the teamfight comp, more of a wombo combo composition, so they can still come back to this. I think a Baron fight might be the next play that IGNI is going to aim for, so they can maybe look for a miracle fight, get the ultimate on Weedfish before he gets to ult anyone, and maybe snowball the fight that way.
That should give them enough time to maybe build up some of these item spikes you were both talking about. The next dragon coming up is a Cloud Drake. That would be very useful for Noah to try and get him out of these positions, but equally useful for Ventum if he's running down these players. And now the Baron is spawning. AMG are reconvening up to this top lane. They're going on Sojin again. They've caught him in the river. Weedfish is in. He's going to ult himself. The exhaust has gone down. Sojin has also gone down. Ventum's gone down. Here comes Paka with that ultimate. The Karthus ultimate is actually going to land this time. Actually, Noah's gone down. Paka's gone down. It's been turned, but no, Weedfish kills Luke. He blows up. He explodes with these bombs. And now it looked like it could be so good for the side of IGNI, but Luke goes down pivotal at the end. They do manage to get the kill on Noah, though. There's signs of life here from IGNI.
Yeah, that was a really, really well-executed play from Jack. He manages to get an ult from a pretty well-hidden position. Catches him off guard, lands at the same time as the Karthus.
Oh, Pineapple has that Q. He's out of range, though. If he was just close enough in range, the GLP doesn't quite land. Looks like 99.5's gonna... Oh, the flash in from Alone! He wants to secure this one. Axel flash, but he gets away very, very tight. Maybe some sweaty palms on the side of IGNI, but they escape with their lives.
Yeah, that's a Morgana flash for 2 flashes, so that's a really worth trade for AMG.
But that
Also,
does take away their engage.
Yeah, but they still get the pressure for Dragon play right now.
Yeah.
So they've got this engaged. Paka is also flashed down for now. He'll have his ultimate before long, and TP is up, but he doesn't have that flash to engage. So as you say, without Morgana flash, without Paka, they really have to rely on these flanks. However, they have actually been doing that. They've been very good at capturing, particularly Sojin, out of position. Weedfish is not scared of him anymore. He's running up, getting these bomb setups. So I think that they might still be able to find it if they can bait IGNI out of their base. They seem to be wanting to push up and get vision around this Baron pit, and if they can maybe catch them going for that one, they might be able to get the pick that opens up the Baron, just like they had last game when it was fairly even, a little in AMG's favor, but they finally got that big, nice team fight, went straight to the Baron, and then that was just curtains for the game.
Yeah, we were talking about these item spikes, and at the moment Karthus has the spike, but it's a bit too late. It's nearly 22 minutes in, and he's 2 levels down to Weedfish. So even though he has the spike, it looks pretty doomed at the moment. They have to get some sort of a miracle, and I don't think they can have it 2 fights in a row.
Do you think it's worth for Noah picking up like a Hex Drinker or something early now, or do you think he should just keep getting these big, hard-hitting teamfight items? Looks like he's going for the Infinity Edge right now.
Stopwatch is the,
that would be it, yeah.
That's the main way to dodge out damage from the enemy comp. But I think he has faith in Wheatfish. Wheatfish will ultimate him.
That is the gift they have there. Paka pushing up alone on this bot lane now. 1995 is probably going to have to go back to rotate, and 1995 doesn't have TP crucially here. So if a team fight breaks out, the pressure, the man advantage is going to be in Aquamarine's side. They need to be very afraid. A nice binding lands on. Could this be a double bomb as well into Axile? Got a lot of damage. He is going to sneak away though there. Noah not quite close enough to unload this damage on him. They're going to go straight onto this Baron. This is a very, very aggressive turn off his what a small amount of damage that they got on there. They put the wall over. That's given away their position. They're on that pink. They want to use this TP advantage. They know Paka's got ultimate. They're just going to force this one. Paka's TPing in now. They're going in. Pineapple's going quite low. They don't really have a tank here. They're doing this damage still. Noah is getting it quite low. 1995's running up. They're not really doing it that quickly. Alone just accidentally Zonya's. This could be huge in this fight. No, Ventum's in the pit. This is going to be a 50-50. Here comes Paka. It's stolen. Ventum's got it. And now they've killed him. Here comes Axel. Here comes 1995. Look at the damage. This could be a mad fight. Oh, no. It's actually resurrected. But now Luke is on there. He's doing the damage in the backline. Wheatfish can't do much, but Noah's still alive. Here comes that ultimate, though. He's going to go down. That is going to be, what is that, a 4 for 4? But the Baron is crucially stolen by Ventum. Luke has that one in his pocket. What an excellent play.
I called it. There's no way for Lee Sin to outsmite an Olaf RE smite. It's just instantaneous. Does an extra like 400 true damage.
Yeah.
He's not got. He doesn't have a bat like I don't know. I can't think of the phrase,
Words.
but yeah, he doesn't have a chance in hell of stealing that. Well, not stealing it, while securing it for his team, especially when he's being forced into this 50-50. They really, really needed to just pick off the Olaf or, hell, even the rest of the team so they can just, you know, just bring them over, try and kill the Olaf before the thing. There's no reason for them to, you know, go for the 50-50 play.
Yeah, I think Pineapple was maybe trying to pop the blast cone to knock Ventum away, but ends up knocking him into the pit with himself. And then Paka's ultimate comes down, but obviously Ventum's ultimate just negates that whole thing, and he just has freedom. No CC can be used against him, and he gets that perfect E-smite, steals away the Baron. It's not too bad, it's only on Luke. There's not really that much pressure they can exert with this one, as IGNI are never the ones pushing the lanes. They're always the ones being pushed in. But at least it denies it from AMG, gives them a little bit more time. Noah's going on Sojin, hang on a second, here comes the exhaust, but now Pineapple's in there to secure that one. That's going to be an easy one too. The ultimate comes down for some reason, I guess, and now that's just on cooldown. They're going to push up this mid lane now. They don't have to worry about that ultimate in fights at all. 1995 is on the flank. They've got that Baron minion wave to stop them pushing in at least, so that's going to do something, but they need to not flub this one. The 1995's Malphite ultimates have been very, very impactful so far, and they need to hold their nerve. Now they have the advantage, and we'll see if they can make anything additional. Oh, nice double bomb onto Luke! He's destroyed! Noah takes him down! That is huge! Paka's going in with the ultimate now. He's going to get shredded! Malphite's gone down! Axel's gone down! That is amazing! Wheatfish wins that fight for his team on the back of a beautiful double bomb. This is going to be an inhib at least.
It feels like IGNI is not respecting the enemy team at all. Like,
Yeah.
Sujin is walking alone in mid lane against the Fed Twitch.
Oh,
Like,
the
what
flash
are
and come
they
alone,
doing?
they get that knock, they get that stun, they pop the ultimate. Ventum's going to retreat under his tower. These that their GLP though, Noah wants to get a kill, but no, he turns back onto those towers. They're going for the end. These death timers aren't that long, they don't have the ultimates. This is very aggressive, risky play. Sojin flashes in, stands still and dies. Noah does at least go down though. They have to retreat. We've seen the same thing they did last game where they were pushing Nexus towers and they end up losing a fight because of it. We have to hope they don't lose too much off the back of this.
I think this is curtains for them. That Baron player was like a glimmer of hope, and then Luke just gets caught out by that double bomb, and it's... I feel like they lost their one chance to get back into the game for a really good team fight, and maybe a push with the Baron. But
Yeah, the damage coming out of Wheatfish was so huge. Honestly, I feel like he's the man who is turning this game in their favor. If you remember that early bomb back in that river fight after a dragon that he landed it on Luke, and he got that fadeaway bomb that turned that fight in their favor. Just now, he gets the huge double bomb that wins them that fight, gets them 2 towers and an inhib and an Ocean Drake. And earlier on, he's getting very nice ultimates, using so much value out of these bombs. This guy is 7-0 and 14. He's almost got that Rabadon's. Honestly, I am so impressed with Weedfish on the Zilly in this game.
He's had a really good series so far, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, at the game 1 and the Ori, I feel like he's... Didn't he
Oh, Sojin not again. He's been caught by Noah on a ward. He's just going to go down. There's nothing he can... Oh, hang on a second. Perfect stopwatch by Noah. He's going to get hit by the ultimate, but he is going to dodge the Malphite ult. Crucially, he's actually still on full health, which is interesting. Maybe the
Did
Black
he know
Shield
he was
came down?
coming?
I think, so he just, they had a ward there, and then they just kind of perfect stopwatch. They did have vision, it wasn't a reaction stopwatch, but it was still very well timed. Noah picking off Sojin again. The 8th death for Sojin in this game. He's building towards the Rabadons now, but man, just look at all the things that Noah has. He's got those 3 items. He's used that stopwatch now, admittedly, but he's got that null magic mantle, probably building into some magic resist. And now AMG knocking on this top lane tower. Mid is pushing him with supers. They've got no Sojin to speak of. This surely will be another tower, another successful push for them.
Yeah, this is just looking really grim. I don't really know what more they can do. They've just kind of make a prayer with a Malphite ult, I guess. Wait for cooldowns.
Yeah, it's coming up in not too long. They've got the Rabadons. They've got the Rabadons secured on Karthus. This is going to do a lot of damage. Looks like AMG is just going to back off, buy some items. The Baron is up before not too long, but now 6k ahead. 3 dragons to 1, 6 towers to none. This is so heavily in their favor. We saw what happened when they get ahead last game. They just run it down. They will find a fight. They will absolutely charge at you, and they will just pick you apart in these team fights. So IGNI, they've got to find a way to stall out this game, I feel. Otherwise, it's just going to be a repeat of game 1, but in perhaps even more dominant fashion. Noah, he's found Sojin again. Here comes the exhaust, though. Noah's had to flash away. Maybe he's overstepped. No, he hasn't. He's absolutely not overstepped. He's got the Zillion ult. He's got the Kennen ult. Sojin melts in the mid lane again for the 9th time this game. Goes down.
How many times I have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Exactly, dude. Kevin needs to open his ears up to what we're saying here. They've got 2 dead. The Karthus is nowhere to be seen. They do have the Malphite ult. It is their last bastion of hope. They don't have the Zillion ult, it must be said. They don't have Kennen ult. Some of the stalling, disengage tools for AMG are not available, but they are shoving up. They've got the super minion here. What is happening? What? Insane! IGNI are crumbling. 1995 shattered mental. The surrender vote comes out. I guess he did that just because the surrender vote was happening. He didn't actually do that on purpose or like by accident. But that is a surrender vote for IGNI. AMG, they've moved to 2 games up to 0. They are looking to take this series. They've looked so dominant, guys. What happened to...
I don't know what's going on right now. This is not the IGNI from the split that we've just watched. This isn't the 21-1 IGNI. This is the Saturday night hungover IGNI.
Oh dear.
Came back, slumped on a couch, 2 painkillers, you know.
I believe the last time we had Sojin on for a cast, he told us he had Parkinson's hands. I think we're seeing a little bit more of that one here today. The guy is just not really with it. He's in the bad positions so many times. He's been caught mid lane, left, right, and center. Noah literally just runs up mid lane, stealths, kills Karthus, pushes a tower, recalls, runs up mid lane, stealths, kills Karthus, repeat, and they won the game solely off the back of Sojin, I feel, getting caught out so many times. They had the options to stall at times. They had good fights that they were making, but it just kept going out of control. They never got another clean fight after that one they managed to turn around. It's just, Sojin was always dead. There's just no one to back up there, no ultimate to come down to finish off these characters, and Luke wasn't able to have nearly the impact that Noah is, with Weedfish always being on his case, zoning him with these bombs and doing so much damage.
Fun fact, Sujin managed to do the most damage this game. He did 30,000 damage compared to his ADC, 6k damage.
Okay, like looking at this damage graph...
That's the classic int in Karthus. You die, but you deal damage.
Yeah, like he's done 5k more damage than Noah, he's done 13k more damage than Weedfish, and yet he died 9 times and arguably lost his team the game. That is the Karthus power. And I mean, if he maybe died like 3 times less, we could still be watching this game right now and it could still be doable for them. But you just see that the rest of his team had 0 impact on this game. Besides 1995 with a couple of clutch ultimates, the bot lane was nowhere to be seen. Bentham made nothing happen in that early game. He's 0-7-6. Ventum, the carry jungler, the star jungler of this team, who will go in and he'll 1v2 in your jungle and he'll kill you and he will like snipe you every fight and carry his team. He's 0-7-6. He's having an absolute nightmare right now. What do you think is going on the side of IGNI?
I haven't seen him in this hard up until the last time they played against Royal Reapers.
Oh, nice. Dropping it in there. I like it. I like it. That's the feels bad man for him, but that is going to be us for this game too. We will be back very shortly with what could be the final game of this series. We'll have to see if IGNI have to shake it off even harder now. They've tried something new. It didn't quite work out. We need to see if they can find a single foothold in this series. We will be back after the short break to bring that one for you. Please do not go anywhere, guys. This is heating up.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost. We're reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Reaching for the stars. I wonder where you
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know I'll find you in my dreams. My heart rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know
you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. Oh, going into oblivion. Into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, I'm going in. You can't fall asleep when you're counting stars. Get it together. Your mind can't sleep when you let it serve. Now you wanna see me fall. From a quarter mile, I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. Oh, going in. Into oblivion. Into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, I'm going in.
Take me in slow, breathe me in and let me go. Feeling the lungs inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind. Just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control. Let the darkness take control. Darkness take control. May the darkness take control. Take me in slow, breathe me in and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies. can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes up. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Teardrops on the floor. The pain is over. Feel the darkness take control. Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you are still pumped up for this third game of IGNI versus Aquamarine Gaming. We have had some very, very exciting first two games here. Aquamarine Gaming, they've extended a 2-0 lead. And to give us a little bit of a breakdown about maybe what's happening over in the IGNI camp, we've got another special guest here for you guys. We've got the official, the retired mid himself, IGNI's old mid laner. Introduce yourself, dude.
Hey, it's me, guys, the one and only retired mid from IGNI, the mental boomer of teams.
Oh,
I'm here to analyze a few of the games that I've been seeing here. Honestly, I was thinking I was having a nice Easter dinner with my family, and I came back to this shit show. I was like, it's kind of interesting, but I missed game one. Can someone explain to me what happened in game one?
So basically, if you saw game two, basically just like that, except Sojin didn't int quite as hard. But apart from that, it's basically the same story. AMG, they drafted a more traditional teamfight comp with the Kai'Sa. They had tank lines. They just kind of drafted a teamfight comp, and then they won bot lane inexplicably. And then IGNI, who drafted an interesting kind of complex Vayne top lane, Kha'Zix jungle, they got Morgana mid, and they had Sivir bot lane, all sorts of crazy things going on, a lot harder to execute. And then they just tried to teamfight a teamfight comp and just kind of got their heads blasted off. So then you saw what happened last game. It was another IGNI intriguing draft, which did not end up paying out for them. They had a little bit more to offer with the Malphite top, perhaps, but Sojin really had a bad time. Axile still not able to find out really what he needs to be doing this game. And Noah and Weedfish absolutely took it to them with another huge performances from both of them as we get into this third game champ select. This time, it looks like AMG are probably going to keep the same bans they've kept all season. It's been working out very well for them. The Rek'Sai and the Corki already gone. I expect to see the Vlad after that. And then now, looks like we've banned away the Jinx and the Twitch and the Thresh. So this is the same bans they did the first game, where they banned Thresh, Jinx, and Twitch against AMG. We saw how that one went, and the Kai'Sa was up. Obviously, they have first pick again now. What do you think they're going to do? What do IGNI need to do now? I've been asking this question all series. What do IGNI need to do? They haven't found the answer yet. Can you guys give me the answer?
I mean, what I actually would like to see IGNI doing is actually draft some winning lanes for one. It's like
Well,
the
they've got the
Galio
Kayle, so, I
bot
mean,
has not been really working out for them, so I'm not sure about that. They drafted Kill.
That's not a winning
Left
lane
the
as far as
Vayne
I'm aware.
spot.
I mean, you can make it a graceful lane, but not really a winning lane, no.
The Vayne has been picked up for Noah here. He's finally been able to get on this champion. We saw him on the Kai'Sa. We saw him on the Twitch. Huge performances on both of those. And now he's got that Vayne. Not banned away. This is his signature pick. This is what he's looking to close this series out with. And it might be matched by Pineys on the... maybe not that Olaf, actually. We have to see what he picks. Ventum, there have been no jungle bans beside the Rek'Sai yet, and it is actually just going to be the Morgana picked up. Alone has had a stellar series as well. I do not want to undersell this guy. He's had a huge performance on Braum and Morgana. Looks like he's bringing the Morgana back this one.
Morgana left open again.
I think they're gonna go for Karma for Axel. I think that would make
Really?
more sense, right? Yeah, I mean, like, he
Has a
tried
good
playing
matchup with Morgana.
Alistar, he tried playing Galio.
Yeah, but
Stop it!
did they pick Alistar, Galio into Morgana both games or
Why
what?
not? They got the Alistar into Braum.
They drafted Morgana against the Braum, and then they put the Morgana mid lane and picked Alistar against Braum.
To be honest, I
Um,
would have just liked to see a Morgana ban instead of a Trash ban there. For the they seemed to struggle a lot against it last game.
yeah, they
It
were
was
not
actually,
having
yeah,
not
keep
having a good time there. Oh, it's going to be the
Yeah.
karma. You're right. Axile taking that mage
Yeah.
pick instead. The support, the enchanter going with Sivir. A lot of speed, a lot of wave clear. Pretty safe lane in general. They might be able to not hemorrhage gold as much as they have been in the previous ones. Ventum was hovering that Zac earlier,
Seems
but it
you
is
left
going to
your
be picked up by
brave pants at
Pineapple.
home.
We've hit game
Want me to
3 in
wait
this
while you go
series
get them?
when they're 2-0 down, and now they've decided to start letting Vayne and Zac through. What's going through the heads right now?
I think they want to win, right? So they're saying, you play your comfort, we'll play ours. It's like the final test, I guess.
Dustle it out.
Yeah. They already tried banning them out. They already tried pinching the champ pause, and they just got blasted. Even
Oh,
harder
there's the
than they did.
Zillion ban.
I think IGNI is gonna look for something to actually punish this Vayne pick because it was kind of expected from Noah to lock that in after those bans.
Hmm.
So it's really interesting to see what the last picks of IGNI will be.
Given that we
Yeah.
have the mid and the top probably and bottom lanes locked in for the side of IGNI, what do you think Sojin, if I could ask Omena here as the diamond mid laner, what do you think Sojin needs to pull out? You've seen him on Karthus, that was questionable. You've seen him on Morgana. In your opinion, he didn't play that correctly either. What do you think he needs to pull out to synergize well with his team and have more of an impact this game?
It's a hard place to be in because at the moment, AGM is looking to leave the last pick for mid lane. So he needs to find a carry mid laner he can also blind pick.
Maybe
And-
Ari?
I would go with the Ahri. I think Sujin is pretty experienced with the champion. The enemy team has Morgana, but I don't think that's a big problem. Ahri can also charm the Zac engage. Like, there's a lot of things Ahri can do.
Yeah,
You still have the flexibility of the kill laying around. It can go mid. It's not the most optimal thing.
I think it's going to go top if they take the Soga.
Oh no, I was just about to say the Kennen has been
Yeah.
left up here. Sion are banned to remove that extra front line, but they do still
Oh,
have the engage and the
God.
teamfight presence for Paka. They've left up Paka's Kennen, Noah's Vayne, Zac for Pony's Pineapple. I'm a little confused here by this draft, honestly. There's one thing to let your opponent play their game and play yours to try and match up. It's another thing to leave them their signature power picks, and 3 of them at that.
It's also another way to make a statement here. If they actually manage to pull out this game and turn it back 1-2, beating them on their comfort, it can actually give yourself, like the team, a huge confidence boost that might be needed to pull out this reverse sweep.
Yeah, 2-0 is not the place you want to go for statements. 2-0 is the place where you need to get the win at any price possible. You don't want to leave 5 comfort picks for the enemies. And there's the Ahri.
Ari. Yeah.
There's the Ari. You guys were right calling that one out. Ventum has been put on this Hecarim as well. That was banned last game, but now he has been allowed to pick this one up. Super strong meta jungler right now, able to affect lanes a lot. We'll have to see if he's able to actually impact these lanes more. As the last 2 games, he did have 2 champions, which are both able to have very strong early effects, but he wasn't able to make things happen. On the Olaf, he fell very far behind off the back of good rotations from AMG, and the Kazakhs game, he just took a little too long to get rolling in that jungle, as Weedfish has been locked in the Aurelia. He's finally taking a carry himself. He is not giving up. He's not going to go onto this utility pick anymore. We saw the Orianna, then the Zillion. Zillion banned away. He is actually going to take the fight to Sojin now, as he probably thinks Sojin's maybe not in the best mindset at this point.
I'm going to be honest. I think that Aurelia pick is not a good one. Not into this comp.
Not into Ari, no.
Nah, I feel like you've kind of shafted yourself in lane. And then in the later stages of the game, I just don't see it being able to touch Sivir or the Ari or even the Kale. It feels like it's going to be a really hard time. It's
I'm
got to
waiting.
be...
Go ahead.
I feel like they've got to do some crazy mid-jungle shenanigans to get this pick to work.
I'm waiting. The seconds are ticking down to see if they're going to swap this Ari to mid lane. They've only got 1 second left to do it, and they might not have, I think. we've ended the timer. Ari has been locked into the top lane, and Sojin has Kale in the mid lane. Does this maybe change the layout of this game somewhat, perhaps?
I think maybe Jack is gonna play Ari mid, to be honest. I don't
You
see
think
a
they're
reason
gonna?
for you to run a top lane.
So you think they'll swap Sojin into that top lane and flex him up there?
Yeah, I think that might be it.
Yeah, maybe they need that mental reset.
Just fucking swap all the lanes around while you're at it.
Yeah,
Put,
it's
put
seen
Karma mid.
something we talked about in the very pre-game before the first game was that they're able to do this. We haven't seen them do it yet. This, I guess, is the time. They need to swap something out, as you say, need to change up something because it's not going so well for them so far. The team fight coming out of AMG is absolutely monstrous. They are a little low on range. They've got the cannon and the Vayne, I guess, but they don't have insane range. And now they don't have that Weedfish Zillion, which has very nice long engage range on that champion with the double bombs that he used to great effect. So they are definitely fully committed to starting these fights, but they have Zach's gauge for Pineapple. This is so crucial at starting these long range fights, and we know this guy is amazing on this champion. I think that IGNI, we've seen them kind of lose out early on. They were never able to get the advantages that their team comps required, and they've drafted another one. Has this Kale, it's pretty dependent on them getting to late game, and they haven't really managed to reach late game once yet. So, I mean, I feel like this could be very punishing for them unless they can actually perform better in the first 15 minutes or so.
I feel like it's yeah. Concept.
Yeah, I mean, the AMG's team comp really spikes hard around mid game. I don't see like if like IGNI falls behind here, like the slightest bit, they're just gonna legit get ran over by this like death ball comp actually from AMG. It's gonna
That
be really
is-
yeah, go on.
That's the style we saw them play before was Death Ball. They were steamrolling over team fights. Maybe the start wasn't necessarily the best, but normally it was a decent pickup by them. AMG getting like a decent start, or maybe IGNI picking someone off, or they had a pretty decent start. They tried to commit to the fight, and then they don't kill Noah, or someone managed to turn it around. Weedfish gets a clutch ultimate, perhaps, and they manage to turn around these fights. And then as soon as the advantage is even slightly in their court, AMG absolutely bulldoze over these team fights when they're given the advantage. They've got the Ignite on Aurelia mid, the Ignite on Morgana bot lane. They're looking to win these lanes. Normally they have Weedfish with that TP or a defensive summoner mid lane, so he can be a little bit more supportive. But we'll have to see if his choice to be a solo carry this game, someone that is actually affecting the game positively on his own right and carrying that lane maybe, see if that actually punishes him or if he's able to make this one work at this third game in the finals, this potentially pivotal game as the start of a sweep could be unfolding before our eyes. If they're able, as you said, they're able to beat AMG with the Zac, with the Kennen, with the Vayne, the mental like rebound that's going to give IGNI is going to be huge. And we've seen a lot of sweeps in pro play recently, a lot of reverse sweeps coming out. The game is pretty volatile right now. We'll need to see if AMG can hold their nerve or if they're going to finally get, if IGNI can finally find the chink in the armor.
Well, they've got to find something, or they're going to be ending the split in a way I don't think they're going to like.
And a way that no one expected either.
Yeah, I don't think anyone predicted this.
Very much a lot of not like this, maybe in the IGNI voice comms, perhaps. If we just take a look at the rest of the summoners and runes, nothing out of place here. Ari's gone for that electrocute, looking to get her kills. She's got the ignite as well. 1995 was making some very good engages on the Malphite, admittedly. He also had some very bad engages on the Malphite, but he was able to single out Noah on that champion. And if he can do the same on Ari, we'll see him have a much better impact potentially on this game. But Noah, so comfortable on this Vayne. He's got the ultimate invis, got that tumble. It's going to be so hard to actually catch him because Alone has been so on point, protecting him, getting those engages, and also peeling for his carry. It's going to be very hard for a 1995 to get in there. But I guess all that IGNI really, in theory, need to do to need to reach 16 minutes without having lost the game to too much of an extent there. And they've got the Sivir speed up, they've got the Kale speed up. They can run you down. They've got the Karma as well, the Mantrid E. If they manage to get all those things off and they catch someone out, they are not escaping their wrath once they manage to hit that critical mass, as we have a possible invade here. Alone waiting in the wings with that binding available, I imagine. Axel's going to spot this one, not going to land. He is going to put that ward down. No invade. Once again, IGNI using this normal vision line. Actually, Venta may be looking to invade into that topside jungle, whereas before they were searching for it, but never really quite made anything happen.
I'm really confused about how this lane swap's gonna go though. This having Jackal 995 mid.
But is he actually running a top, or is he
No,
actually?
he's running Ari mid.
Yep.
By the looks of things.
It's a nice ward there by Ventum, actually. It's going to spot out Pineapple and Paka starting on this top side. It's going to be very important information for them. It's pivotal that this Kale does well through this mid game and is able to reach that late game as fast as possible. As bot lane is going to go normal. They're going to look for a binding. Not going to find it, though. Axile and IGN Luke have been having a pretty rough time this series, and I think the onus is really on them to stop giving away gold in these lanes, because that is how Noah gets to this hyper carry point that he's been allowed to reach twice. We just need them to maybe go even, and they have that win condition in the form of Sojin, as he's going to find Pack in that rush, forces out the speed as well, so he's going to win that nice early trade, get some Klepto stacks for himself. But this is going to be a mostly normal lane. They're actually missing ping out Pineapple there, so they're pretty aware of him. They're tracking him very efficiently right now.
Yeah, this is a very typical Zac path for him to just go red Krugs. It's what every sort of tank jungler goes for, most XP, and gets you the levels quickly. I expect Ventum is also going to do the same, but he's done a Raptors red Krugs, so he's going to be a little later to the Scuttle Crab than Pioneers might be. But perhaps he's going down for the Raptor camp now.
Yeah, Piney's walking over that same ward as well.
You reckon they would go for what do you call it? A mirror jungling right now, like split the map? Go for it, yeah.
I can see that happening, yeah, but I think it might be in Ventum's interest to play more around his top than his bot this game.
Weedfish taking a lot of damage in that mid lane, actually. 1995 has taken the CS lead and the damage lead. Pineapple's hovering, though. He's into that brush. He'll be level 3. He's got all his abilities. But Ventum also waiting in the wings. It looks like it might go a little dicey there. But it looks like he is going to go off for that Scuttle instead. No, nothing's going to quite explode yet, but this mid lane looks like it could be a violent one.
Ever since the removal of the
Nice
magic
stun by
soul.
Weedfish. Ooh, good dodge of the charm as well. Nice little trade back by him. Pineapple walking back towards this mid lane as well. Actually, 1995 is going for this trade. Pineapple is surely going to engage on this one. Pykerim is nowhere to be found. He's got that E available. A nice stun by Weedfish. He gets it up. This might be a flash out to burn. That is going to be a flash burn and a charm. Now no mana for Ari, but the ignite comes down and the auto-attacks might just do it. Weedfish might have been what he can shoot. He gets the first blood and he lives. He gets away with it. The 2v1 takes down this mid lane. Weedfish uses both his summoners of both of Ari's, but he gets this first blood. This first mid lane, this is going in the favor of
top
AMG.
lane.
But Paka, he's now getting counting. Oh, a nice flash there, perfectly timed. Gets through the Hecarim E, not able to do that, just the flash for nothing. And that is 2 ganks attempted, but AMG comes out the victor.
That's really curious. Flash interaction though. Because he was behind him and he hit him and then it propelled him forward. Pretty
That's
unfortunate.
how the interaction goes.
Yeah. Pretty unlucky.
Ooh, nice.
Nice trade from Luke here.
Yeah, pushing away, Axel using that empowered mantra Q to push Noah away, takes a little bit of damage on the back as well. So I feel like Sivir Karma definitely should win this one early on. They have the range advantage, and as long as you don't get hit by the binding, it's pretty easy to just take the wins in these trades, which they seem to be doing. But the minions are pretty even if they can manage to pick up all of these ones. It's gone pretty fine for them. Noah, once again, last game on that Twitch in the early laning phase, he was happy to just sit back and farm up. He didn't force anything too crazy, and it was in that mid-game teamfight when they first caught out Axile that they really started to snowball things in his favor once he had level 6. So we might see him make a similar play here as Pineapple more focusing around this mid lane, not his usual bot focus that we see.
I think it's a lot easier for him. I think it's easy to gank an Aurelia, and I predicted this before the game that they're going to have to play around this Aurelia, or...
Oh, here he comes. There's no flash. Here comes the dash in. Yeah. They've got that charm on a nice stun. This will surely do it. They've got the Q resets. That is easy as 1, 2, 3. Pineapple picks up that one. And now 1995, 2-0 down, abusing his pre-6 form very, very well so far.
Yeah, I think this is why they've went for the Aurelia, because... they can't play around top, and bot is going to be a farm fest. So
Oh,
When the-
Exile looking for the chamber. He gets rooted and stunned against the wall and condemned. The heal comes out. He's flashed away, but he's just going to go down. A very bad decision to take that fight by Exile, and now Luke is left in the lurch. But here comes Ventum to try and support his team. He's going to get onto Alone. He's surely going to kill him. There goes the flashes out. Noah picks up Luke, and now Ventum didn't even kill Morgana. Can he at least get Noah? Surely he can here. He doesn't have flash, but the condemn comes off cooldown. Noah walks away. This is... lightning hits. Can he finish him off? Not like this, IGNI! What is happening? This bot lane from AMG just schooled them.
Oh,
That's a fat FF if I've ever seen.
Oh.
I smell a certain scent in the air. It's like a mental boom. I'm very familiar with this.
Goodness, dude, that was so well played by AMG. They got everyone out alive. Ventum unable to make it happen, and now it's 2 kills and an assist on Noah. We said it before, Artie. He can't be allowed to get away with this again. How does this happen? He's got a blue buff. Why? Okay, so he's gone back with the Dord Shield. He's going to get a very nice fat buy here. Cutlass possibly more as well. He might even be able to get that recurve bow. And the bot side, the whole mid and bot side is so in the favor of AMG that you've got to imagine that this dragon's going to be contested. But it is actually Ventum goes onto it early. They're catching the back, and this might be something that they can at least take back.
It's actually a really good call here. Like, they caught him on the basis. It's good. It's a consolation prize for the already 3k gold lead that they're down
Wait,
this early into the game.
Oh, hang on a second. Packer needs to walk away from that damage. He does not want to underestimate this Kale. Pineapple's moving into the vicinity.
Really.
And they've got a pink ward in that brush already. They're not going to see Pineapple coming in here. Sojin's got flash. Packer does have ultimate though. Here he's going to come in. This is the engage. Sojin's got his ultimate. Here comes the cannon ult. It's a nice stun, but now he can't get away. He's got a nice flash away. Doesn't get stunned. Dodges the Q. Sojin plays this very well. Escapes with his life.
I think if they just let this chaos scale, then they do have a chance, honestly. Especially if they keep picking up neutral objectives. This game isn't completely boom yet.
Absolutely. The Infernal is definitely what you want for that Kale going into those late game team fights, just to make you even more of a threat.
Yeah. The thing is though, IGNI has a comp to wave clear against like the strong mid game of AMG, but
oh no, this is a 3v2 that they didn't expect.
They're into it.
Ultimate, but Alone's just going to get absolutely monstered, and Noah now has to flee. They got the binding. Oh, a nice juke by him. Gets back to Noah, he's got no summoners. Here comes Ventum coming in. The Q's going to land another auto attack. One more is going to do it. It's a shutdown. They've actually taken the gold back. It's so close. Alone, you saw him land that binding, but he can't see who it is. He doesn't get vision on Ventum, and they take that 2v3 and end up losing those gold and the plates for their trouble.
but this was Phantom's tactic all along, giving the bounty to Noah just to get it back.
Oh yeah, dude. Big plays. Oh, a nice stun, a nice charm dodge on the 95. He's got to go back to his tower. OG Wheatfish taking such dominant control of this lane. Look at that CS difference. Oh, hang on a second. Pineapple's going in as well. They're getting pretty fresh with him, but the Ariel should be enough to always keep him alive, I imagine. They are not letting him breathe for a second.
Amena, do you think the mid lane dynamic changes if like Ari gets an item, or is it just going to stay like this?
I think Irelia wants to play on side lane, but Ahri doesn't. Ahri wants to group up for team fights. So look for the picks with the charm and the severe speed and stuff like that.
It's also interesting. I don't know about you, Amena, but I've seen a lot of my Aris at least go glacial augment instead of the electrocute that's been chosen for this game.
Yeah, for sure. It is the most dominant playstyle you can play at the moment with Ahri. So I was expecting him to go with it, but apparently it's the electrocute build.
I mean, they have so much damage already with Kale and Sivir and like Hecarim. I feel like the glacial augment wouldn't be that much of a problem just to sacrifice a bit of damage if you're getting so much extra lockdown when you're trying to catch Noah and you're trying to catch Packer, maybe stop him getting into fights. Like, I think the glacial augment would have been really valuable, honestly.
So, binding just misses.
Well wide there. Packer still pushing in this top lane, and now OG Wheatfish rotating around. They're taking control of the vision on this bot side river. They don't want to give up another kill like they did before. It's still, I think the gold is still in Noah's favor by a smidge. He is still a couple hundred up there. Alone is actually 500 gold ahead of Karma. So they're still definitely strong in this one. They've got that ult back online. Noah's going to have his flash. He's close to that Blade of the Ruin King. that's when this lane could absolutely explode once Noah gets that first big item and they can start taking really strong 2v2s. He's on a ward there alone, and now Ventum is in the backside as well. If they go for a dive, this could go very sour for them. They are going to spot, oh, we've just engaged. They've committed to this, and a flash, a charm in the mid lane. He's going to have to walk away, but now there's a lot of stuff going on here. Here comes the Ignite, here comes the Ignite. Oh, so much damage though. He's flashed away. OG Windfish, but now the flash from 1995. They're both going to walk away. The Ignite's going to do it. And while that was happening, not a single kill happened in the bot lane. I am surprised to see that. But Weedfish, a little bit of a scrappy one, both not quite sure whether they're in or out, but he does take it. That extra item advantage maybe giving him the win in that 1v1 in the mid lane.
Well, guess who's going to remind Jack that he got solo killed by Weedfish?
Hey, it's me!
Not again. Weedfish solo killing both the mid laners he's been put up against so far this series. He's held his own admirably. Admittedly, he's had Pineapple's pressure in this lane, and hang on a second, they've tracked Pineapple into the jungle here, but Packer's here with the ultimate. There goes the early Kale ult. They've got that knock together, and now they're trying to finish off Ventum. A nice knockback. This is going very, very sour, and they've managed to kill Axel on the bot lane as well. Sojin trying to finish him off. He doesn't quite get it. No, a double kill. Packer walks away, not even close, baby. He walks back to his tower, and the bot lane, as we saw, picked up another kill. Where have we seen this before, lads? I feel like I'm reading the same story.
This is why you've got a Banzak. I'm just saying.
Actually, really well played by Pineapple player, pulling the Hackrim out of his ear, I'm pretty sure, into the cannon ult.
This guy's a monster, Isaac.
Yeah.
Like, it should not be left open.
They've gone for the ultimate call-out. Weedfish has now caught out Luke, grading for XP. Here comes forces the flash. No stun gun be found there, but a teleport. Here comes Sojin. This could be a return play. Noah does not have his ultimate. He does have his flash though. Here comes 1995 as well. Can they actually get in here? There's the speed up, the Karma Mantra Q. You know he uses heal for speed as well. A nice stun, that stymies it out. They get nothing for this 5-man play. The dragon is here though. They could commit to this one. Noah's actually stuck around. They don't want to get fresh here. There's no ultimate for Packer BTPs. Noah is very low. He needs to survive here, but Ventum's gone down. They don't have smite. All they have to do is just walk away. They can take this dragon now. Packer is in, but he doesn't have any positioning there. But they forced IGNI out of the pit. They are quite low though. Pineapple getting over that wall. IGNI are so desperate to find something, anything of this play, and they just don't get it.
Really,
They're
really
already
confusing.
5k down. That's actually insane.
They're just running around with no goal in mind. They're like, oh look, Infernal is up, but they're trying to make a pick without their ult. Hackrim is legit just running into them and dying there.
They're playing like they're running an early game comp when they've got Kale and Sivir.
Oh, they've actually caught out alone here. They've made a nice touch. Here comes the Packer ultimate. He's got them all. There goes Pineapple, but it's still a 3v4, and they've actually picked up Ari. Now here comes Weefish to support his team alone. It's going to go down to double kill for Sojin, but now they're on the wrong side of this tower. Pineapple's going to have his passive popped. A nice ultimate back into that tower. He might still live. Sojin's going to go down. This is a rampage for this Zac. And now Karma is caught. Noah's going to chase her down, hunting her prey. That's going to be easy for him to pick up. And now they're pushing onto this tower. Actually, Weedfish almost gets a 1v2 kills. This is falling apart again for IGNI. They really want to make these plays. They want to try and force something, but it's just not happening. Pineapple probably doesn't want to walk near that dragon if he doesn't want to die. They're going to get this Infernal, and now that's been matched by AMG, IGNI don't even have that in their pockets. What can they do? This is like the 8th time I've asked this question. What can they do to actually stop themselves from getting snowballed on?
They just need to chill.
I fucking hit the break button
They
here.
need to chill. Like they're playing like they've got Olaf top, Draven AD carry, like fresh support. But no, they're running triple scaling. Well, Ari's not scaling. She's kind of mid game. But
She's not really anything at 0-4.
yeah,
Uh,
like.
I feel like Jax is playing Malphite again for some reason. I don't know. This gives me weird flashbacks.
If they want to play these early game like insane, you know, random skirmishes, then I don't know why they're drafting these super late game comps. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's not clear. It's really, really confusing.
Yeah, they're just not able to find anything that they're going for here. And now Packer, he is actually the one person who's not really ahead of his counterpart, though they've already swapped this lane away. Sojin did get a double kill there. He's got his Gunblade. He's almost level 11. He's almost going to become an actual champion, and he hasn't played that badly so far. He's been getting good damage out. He is still a win condition for them, but they need to stop the bleeding absolutely ASAP. And then if they lose this Rift Herald, that's the kind of thing that's going to break open another lane for them. Packer looking to maybe get a stun. He is going to land it. Doesn't. He does have his ultimate, actually. Pineapple, if Luke steps too far forward, he's going to get caught out here. Nope, not quite. Steps up under his tower, but now the rotations are in. It's going to be a 4v4 as Noah is here in Sojin's pocket. He doesn't get the condemn, actually. He's not going too low. Here comes the ultimate. He's going to take some damage. Noah, is he going to do it? He does get it. That was close. Very dicey for Noah. He wins that one. That's going to be a tower, surely. And now they move on to this Rift Herald. See, as I'm saying, Sojin, he's not out of this game yet.
Yeah, I think he just needs another couple of items under his belt, and you know, he could maybe try and carry this game because he's on one item and he's nearly taken out a turbo for
Oh, they're forcing a fight. Packer throws that ultimate. Ventum gets stunned up. Wheatfish. Wentum's going so low. Wheatfish takes him down. Pineapple picks it up. Alone is here now as well. Sivir's gone down. Flash in by Pineapple. He's not going to get the ultimate, but Wheatfish is just ripping through this backline. Flashes in, gets the stun, a killing spree. And now Pineapple, he has his passive still. He hasn't even died yet this game. He's going in. He's just going to get that health back and karma. To be run down by Packer. Needs to be wary of these Qs, I guess, actually. Here comes that stun. The root, or the Q is going to land. He is surely going to get run down here. Noah's taken that one. A flash in from Alone. They really want this karma kill. They really, really want it. Packer ends up securing it. He's 2-1-5 right now. Pineapple is 5-0-3. Just look at these scorelines. Here comes the Herald they just picked up. That's going to be the mid lane tower. This is how it happens. This is how it snowballs again. There's nothing that IGNI are able to do here. These fights, they're still picking fights, and they're always on the worst side of them.
I honestly don't understand why they're even trying to go for these fights. Like, just give them the heralds. Like, don't fucking die 4 for 1 here. I'm pretty sure, not even. Like, this is not the IGNI that went 21-1 in the split. This is like watching maybe a plat game, maybe gold. It's really, really weak.
This is
Honestly
mental
disappointed.
IGNI.
Nah, this is actually like really disappointing.
This is the most mental boom we've ever seen this team. The 21-1 is coming crashing down, and it looks like AMG are poised to take this 3-0 series. They are, what is that, 8.5 gold ahead right now? 8.5k at before 18 minutes, and we saw the surrender vote come out from IGNI before the Lexus fell. I hope we don't see it again this game, because that's not the best way to end a best of 5 finals for you guys, but it is just so exciting seeing AMG play these fights, take these wins. Pineapple walks into the jungle, has to walk away, but they're just kind of going into these normal lane assignments. They don't even feel the need, it seems, to group up super aggressively. Packer flashes in on the Ahri, gets behind him with that ultimate. He's stacking it up, and Ahri uses that ult to get away. She is going to live. Not the worst, honestly. A trade for a flash ultimate for just your ultimate on Ahri is pretty happy with that one. Packer still has that TP just coming up now, but he's not going to be as useful in these team fights. Might not be able to have such a huge impact. We'll be able to see maybe if they can turn a fight round if Packer's not able to have that big presence.
That's actually really
Death
huge.
Rush here.
Burns his flash there.
They have so much speed in this Death Rush. If Noah steps up too far, he's not going to, though. He's not actually a bad player, you see. So he goes back to his jungle, recalls, and they're just going to have to lose even more time there. Dragon is coming up again before long. That is going to be another Infernal Drake. This is going to be so huge. IGNI absolutely need this, I feel, if they're going to be relevant in this game. Now we've had a quick pause for Aurelia.
Apparently, this mode is lagging.
Yeah, so, I mean, it seems like we're having kind of a widespread problem with Discord there. We'll have to wait to see if that one clears itself up. But in this lull that we have, if we can just take stock of what we've seen in the game so far, the farm leads, the kills, the champions, how everyone's interacting on the game, this seems like possibly even the most dominant game of the 3. And I mean, I feel like it's got to be at least attributable to the fact that so many comfort picks have been given over to AMG.
Yeah, I think you can easily say that. I think, honestly, IGNI have... I'm not going to say they've lost because of draft, because that would be completely unfair to the players, but they really didn't help themselves. It's like they ban hyper carry 80 carries and then leave the vein open. Like, what's the point? Because you're going to give one over anyway. They ban the fresh, but they're still giving over a playmaker. I feel like it's a lot easier to ban someone like Piney's Pineapple or Packer out because they have 1 or 2 signature champions that you can just target.
Yeah.
All hyper carries sort of fill the exact same role in these comps, and the same goes for the sort of playmaking supports that have strong laning phases. I feel like it would have been way easier for them to target the pools of Zac, Kennen, etc.
Yeah, and now they're moving on to this Infernal Drake. Oh, a stun comes up onto 1995. We just are going to go straight
he's
for that one
gone.
with the ult reset. He's just gone. There's nothing he can do. Absolutely melted, and now Paco spotted Ventum out. This is going to be a clean take of the Infernal. That one of the last hopes that they have is just falling away before their eyes. Look at the vision around Baron Pit as well. When that comes up, you've got to imagine that AMG are going to get a pretty easy take on this. Noah actually caught in a 1v2, but he's already almost killed Axel. The heals come out. Now he's going on to Luke. He's taken this 1v2. He's just killed him. He's dead. Can he get away though? Here comes the rotation. He goes straight into it. He's surely going to go down now. Oh my goodness, he's doing so much damage. Nope.
Veins broken, but not that broken.
Sojan's going to take that one. A shutdown onto him. It's probably the best place for it to go. But so much was invested in just killing Noah there. He does use all of his summoners and abilities, but look at how low everyone is. He's almost at the point where he's ready to 1v5.
Almost, but just not quite.
If he had a black shield, he probably would have won that. Like, even I think alone probably wouldn't even have had to do anything else. Just put black shield on him, and he probably would have gotten at least another kill.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty scary to see Vayne already have like, what is it, 2.5 items, almost 3 items at around 20 minutes with 2 Infernals behind him. It's
oh my goodness.
looking really dire here.
The gold differential, he is on 9.9k and Luke is on 6.4. He's 3.5k gold ahead of him at 20 minutes. Like, on a Vayne, on Noah's Vayne. This is just so hard to deal with for IGNI. I don't know how they're going to do it. They're trying to move in, maybe get some vision, but they just don't have any pressure anymore. There's just, they can't ever take a fight. They can never position aggressively because they're just going to get wiped out.
I feel like this is a new AMG, to be honest. It's not just IGNI being very, very subpar compared to what they're normally performing at. I feel like mid, jungle, and support have like really, really stepped up this series, honestly.
Well,
It's
we
hard not to
know...
give them credit.
We know that AMG are actually, hang on a second, they're moving into this jungle, maybe looking for another fight. Ventum's on the wrong side of this. He has his ultimate available, but no ghost. Can he be able to get away here? Packer, they're going on him. He's going to have to pop it now if he wants to live. There comes the Unstoppable, but it's just not enough. He gets melted down, dominating for Pineapple 6-0-3. They can go straight for this Baron if they wish.
I think that's what they're gonna do. They've got double Infernal.
There's just nothing they can do about it.
It's gone.
Yeah, last games we used to talk about what's the game plan for IGNI, what can they do anymore. I think they have one option left. They have the FF button.
They've got that /FF key. Sojan's still 4 levels away from that 16. He's got 2 items at least, but this Baron is going to give them so much pressure pushing down this mid lane. As I was saying earlier, just before that, nice pick onto Ventum. AMG, they've caught the attention of sponsors. These guys have picked up support. These are an official team now, sponsored in other leagues. These guys are catching the eye. These guys are on the way up. And with plays like this, with performances like this, I can absolutely see why. They've looked so dominant here. And would not be surprised at all if they were able to move up to that next level before too long. These guys are playing so well. They're looking so cohesive.
It's honestly surprising, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
the Accra Marine Gaming, I remember, was, I don't know, it was just a bunch of friends playing together. This team, this is looking really fucking scary. It might be IGNI just flat out misplaying, maybe the inexperience of roles with Jack playing mid right now for some reason. It just looks so disorientated. It's actually pretty, sad to look at.
I mean, you know, another team that was just a bunch of friends playing together was Unicorns of Love, and we saw how they ended up. So these guys, with this amount of personal growth, they can keep this going. They're on the fast track for sure, as they've got this top tower. Now Packer pushing up Sojan, and another
pause.
another pause here. We've actually got a very specific time given of 3 minutes for this pause. I'm not sure why it is 3 minutes long. We haven't got the information on there, but that is going to postpone this a little bit more. We'll see if they're able to maybe, well, I guess they can talk about the game in theory because we can't enforce that at this point. They can talk about what they're going to do. I mean, it's at this point, it's not really bad sportsmanship because both teams can do it. But I mean, what's going through their heads? Like, what can they say? It's just Sojan is doing okay, but everyone else is just bleeding out so hard. There's gold falling away from them. The Barons coming in all 3 lanes. When do you think that they're just going to call it?
Honestly, like, the kill's like the one bright spot on IGNI's team right now. However, it is so hard for kill to actually manage. Like, like operate in these fights. You have a Cannon, a Zac, and an Aurelia diving on top of you, with one of them having at least a black shield, which just like immediately forcing the kill ult already. Which, as people might know now, when Kale's casting her ult, she can't do shit. So she's just standing there, being like a kind of frontline, not doing any damage. And yeah, if you look at the rest of IGNI, they're not really gonna deal damage either. It's mostly utility based for Kill to deal damage. It's gonna be like insanely hard for IGNI to find the right fight. It's actually just gonna be like a pick, honestly. Just
Honestly,
literally the pick.
unless they literally run into the fountain laser, I don't see a way to them to come back. This is basically over. All but in name.
Especially they have the lanes pushed up and they're split a little bit by lane, but they're not that far away from each other, and they've got pretty good tools to rotate with the Zac E. Paka has TP in this bot lane with the ultimate, the flash as well. Like, they've got so many tools at their disposal to not lose, and at this point all they have to do is not lose, and it's so they've got the ball in their hands. The analogy I used before, previously in a different cast, was that they have the ball in their hands, and it's so hard for them to drop it right now. Like, it's basically as though the ball is made of like solid titanium and is actually crushing them to the ground. Like, they can't drop it. It's impossible for them to drop it. The ball is so heavily in their favor that it's impossible for them to throw this one, surely.
Unless they throw it overboard, there's always a chance, you know.
There is always a chance.
There's always.
Never say never. Never surrender. That's what my rank teammates say.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying get me out of this.
No, I'm saying I need to go and make dinner. Can we just slash FF this one so I can walk away and get my food? Cheers, thanks. But jokes aside, this is like, I know that you say that as you retired mid, you were saying that it's kind of disappointing to see IGNI, and it is. These were such a strong team coming into this series. They were so dominant in this league. They were the figurehead. They were like hugely involved in the starting up of this league as well. They've been such a big factor in this league and its legitimacy that it hurts a little bit to see them get so dominated. But honestly, seeing AMG do it, a team that, as you say, that used to be just a group of friends, and they've made so much growth in terms of their play, the individual mechanical skill, the way they play together is so good. I love to see a team like this that has grown so well and become so much better and taken down IGNI, who they lost to earlier on. They had that back and forth game earlier on in the season that IGNI ended up taking, and now AMG have come back for revenge with a hefty vengeance here, not giving them a minute to breathe. Huge gold leads in every game, lane wins across the map. They are just absolutely, they're setting themselves apart as like a league above, honestly. They look a tier above right now.
They just look like they're smurfing, honestly.
Yeah,
like
hardcore smurfing.
It's hardcore smurfing. There's like no, I don't know exactly what you're saying. It's just the growth AMG has made is absolutely insane. But it might also be a bit of a downfall of IGNI, which comes to play as well.
We should be getting an unpause underway soon, if all chat is any indication.
I wouldn't trust most things these players say in all chat as far as I could throw it, if I'm honest. Yeah. A lot of memes coming out throughout this series as well. A lot of banter back and forth behind the teams. So at least we can keep some semblance of good camaraderie here. Obviously, everyone's been in this league for a long time. Everyone's got to know each other very well. A lot of these players have played with each other across several amateur leagues in this really, really strong EU amateur league scene that we have right now. We've got so many good opportunities for players to come together and get this team play. As now we get back in here, a little charm lands into Pineapple, but he's so tanky. He does not give any kind of an F about this one. Alone is actually probably put himself in a maybe bad position, but no, Black Shield, sorry, I tell a lie. Walks away. And now Paka bringing that last outer tier 2 out. Oh, a nice condemn. That's going to be the end of Axel. Nope, flashes away. He lives, keeps on to his life there. He is going to have to hastily heal, loses his flash for his trouble, and Vayne still has the ultimate though, so not even losing that one, as now there's minions knocking on top. They're knocking on mid. They're coming in bot lane. This is drawing into its final minutes, I imagine.
IGNI has to make a decision now. Like they're just gonna get starved out. They need to commit to one play now, and if that doesn't work out,
Sojourn's going on to Paka. He's committing to this one. Zac is waiting in the wings. Gets a lot of damage. He is able to hold off Paka. Without the Baron, this would be probably in his favor, and Paka does have to walk away back to his team. Sojourn's pretty scary at this point, but he's level 13. There goes to Axel. There's no flash on this guy. He's been stunned and knocked. Here comes Paka. That's not a great ultimate, but they've got Ventum. Here comes Sojourn. Can he do the damage? He's been stunned against the wall. He's had to flash away, and now they're just fleeing looking from Noah. He's kind of low though. Sojin's still alive, and that's him. He's gone down. Noah still alive. He takes them all. That is going to be it. The clean ace. Everyone's so low, but they walk away with 5. What a decisive moment to end on this game. They've now got this Baron in mid lane. They're going to 5-down push. They end it with a stunning ace. AMG take this final of Equinox League 3-0. A dominant series by them. They played to their win conditions. They took IGNI to the cleaners, and they are absolutely looking like the best team in this league, and they fully deserve this victory today. As Alone, a couple of style points condemned away. Ventum goes down again, and that's going to be the Nexus. That is it. What a series.
That's seriously impressive. I don't think anyone expected that coming into this series. Do you expect it? I didn't.
I'm just speechless actually.
Mhm.
Seeing your old team fell down like this, it's an eyesore. That's
Got out while you could, mate.
Exactly. I boarded ship while it was already sinking.
Yeah,
So.
that was onto the bottom of the ocean here, though not to the bottom of the standings. It's still a second place finish for IGNI, not to be discredited at all. They've had an absolute rough one today, but the deserved win for AMG coming out strong. And I think something that we can talk about actually, that's actually a really hard decision for me just thinking about it, is if we're going to talk about an MVP for this series, there's a lot of options for AMG for this one. I don't know if you guys want to just share any thoughts initially on who you think really stood out for you from this game.
Honestly, from not from this game alone, but like the second game I watched as well, Pioneers and the Alone guy have really shown up big time in these games.
Yeah, I agree.
It's yeah, you might set to Wheatfish as well for like solo killing his lane opponents, but not just about just like Pioneers just put the entire map ahead just by being this stack pick alone. It's actually for me it would actually go to Alone.
Yeah, I'd go and say Alone as well. I think he performed the best. He kind of carried the laning phase. Not to discredit Noah, because I think he also had a good series. But I think he was doing a lot of the heavy lifting. He did a really, really good job of keeping them away from ganks, and he really, really abused Axel in this series. I don't know what your thoughts are, though, Amina.
Yeah, it's a hard decision. Like, everyone played really well, like especially Wheatfish in the second and third game. But I think Alone played really well in all 3 games.
Yeah.
Fulfilled his role to perfection there. Obviously, I think Wheatfish is a good close second. I mean, we see Noah pop off on this vein over and over on these carries as well. We didn't see anything really new from him here. I mean, he has that carry performance. He's always been positioned as that carry, and the team does like to play around him in that fashion. So, I mean, that's why he ends up with these scorelines so much. I mean, admittedly, he is also an amazing player, especially in that first game. We saw them dominate that lane. It really shouldn't have been that hard in their favor. But yeah, they just had such a strong performance, and I think that I'm okay with this. I think that Alone is a very respectable, verifiable pick, and I think he will be it. He will be our finals MVP, the newest member on the team, I believe, after Wheatfish. Both the new members, in fact, being the front runners for the MVP there, Wheatfish and Alone, while the stalwarts, the ones that we know and love, Paka, Pineapple, and Noah, as you say, putting up excellent performances, truly outstanding. But the whole team just came together amazingly, so well this series for this dominant performance. And I guess that's gonna be it for the whole dang season. I'm not sure if you guys have any other parting thoughts you want to share, maybe just on the season as a whole, maybe the scene or particular players, maybe outside of these teams that you think deserve any recognition. Just anything that you want to kind of throw out just to close up this season for us.
Dark IGNI will rise.
Oh damn! I mean,
Let
he
it
has
be
definitely
known.
fallen. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm honestly quite interested in seeing maybe new teams rise up and step up to the plate now. With AMG showing this much growth, maybe other teams will actually step up to the plate and show they can do it as well.
Omena, Royal Reaper's going to join Equinox League next season, maybe? Spoilers? No?
No spoilers yet. Let's see how the SQ1 goes.
Yeah, we need someone to step up and knock AMG off this tower. Can you imagine the size of Packer's ego right now?
I don't
I'm more
even
thinking
want to
of
see
Noah, so you go, to be honest.
Yeah. This is actually the kind of thing like this, such a dominant season, or a dominant finals, I can say a dominant series, can really help teams like Alpha, or AMG, I should say, who are in square one they are put over as Bittersweet Gaming, that sponsor team. Having a performance like this has got to be a massive confidence boost for them going into that season. We've seen how well they can perform in this series. They've got multiple picks across these champions while still able to maintain what is at their core, their own style, and still have this massive impact on it. So I think that they've got to be feeling pretty good going into any other playoffs or big games they've got coming up.
I can agree on that. What an impressive showing from them.
So with that is going to be it. That is going to be us done here with Equinox League, Aquamarine Gaming, your 3-0 champions for this season. I imagine that everyone will be sticking around here in that Discord. There will be announcements coming, I imagine, for any future seasons, any plans for off-season, anything that the admins want to whip up for you guys to keep you invested. It's been a great community, Equinox supporting the stream every week. Teams coming in, playing every week, getting this great scene, allowing everyone to grow and become better together. This is what it's all about, and it's been an absolute pleasure casting this finals, all 3 of these games. These admittedly quite short finals as it goes, but it was an absolute romp for me. With Artie, I have to thank Artie, Omena, and Tim here at the end for joining me on this analysis desk of sorts. And that is going to be it from us. We will see you when we see you, I guess. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching.
Good night. You forgot. We're doing an interview.
Oh, shoot. Wait, we got a 5-man interview. Hold up. I lied. Wait, actually ban me, dude. I've thrown it. I've ruined it.
You've been infected with IGNI.
Oh, no. I've sojourned that one so hard. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we are actually going to get an interview coming in here. We've got people coming in to maybe talk about the win. Who's going to come in? Is it going to be? I guess it's the full team, I believe. Full into the stream. So this is going to be.
There's room in here, man.
There's only room for one ego on this one, and we've got all 5 of them coming in. This is going to be a very crowded call.
Yeah.
We'll have to see when they get in here.
Get them in here, Dylan.
Not sure if you have a time scale on this. Drag them in, dude. I'm floundering right here, dude. I'm crumbling. Okay, here we go. Here they come, the boys, the champions, Aquamarine Gaming, the 3-0 winners. Can someone, anybody, just give me a quick rundown? How are you guys feeling right now?
Amazing.
Oh, there it is.
I smashed IGNI. Oh, I'm so glad. Never 99.
I mean,
Remember,
is he
guys,
wrong?
discount code IGNI. Come on.
Where is the lie? That was an absolute smashing performance. So, Paco, if we'll start off with you, you're feeling pretty good right now. We didn't talk about you as much, honestly. It was mostly focusing on Weedfish on Alone and Pineapple as well. But you had a very strong performance here, going on that Kennen. Huge impact on this game. How do you feel that you felt these lanes go, especially as you went up against Sojin and against 1995? Who's the better top laner?
Oh, yeah, Sojin is definitely the worst. I mean, he only farmed. I didn't have to do anything. And like my team always wins or carries me, so I don't have to do anything in my lane. I just sit there, play tanks. It's amazing.
Did have huge impact on those tanks. I don't want to downplay your performance with some super clutch Kennen ults and that Scion leading the charge in as well. I guess actually a question I have for Weedfish as well here. What made you want to go onto the Aurelia? Because we saw you play the Orianna first, and then the Zillion, more supportive teamfight characters, champions. What made you think, okay, I'm going to carry this lane, I'm going to win this one now, I'm going to pick this Aurelia?
Well, it was mostly because it's definitely like a good matchup into kill as well, and to Ari it's alright. If you get ahead, it's really good. So and it's just really strong lanes if you get the Aurelia, and you already have the AP solo laner, and it's in good team fights. So it's just like if you get the Aurelia ahead, you just snowball the game, which we did.
You absolutely did, getting a very early first blood on Ari there, and a second kill I think it was as well. You dominated with Pineys helping you out there, getting that pressure onto Ari, and then you had such a strong performance getting those solo kills later on in the game on that Aurelia. I gotta shout out those Zillion bombs as well. I think that was my favorite performance of you in this series. That double bomb onto Luke that really sealed the deal in that last fight was super impactful. All that damage absolutely broke it open. If we're talking about that, let's talk about the champion picks a little more in depth here. And by in depth, I mean, what was your reaction when you saw that they didn't ban Ken and Zach or Vayne in that last game? What is your reaction in comms when you see them leaving open all of your comfort picks?
I mean, it's pretty much they're tilted. They don't believe they can win, so they give us all we play.
They pretty much left it open.
Checkmate. Oh.
I mean, they left it all those picks open for like basically the entirety of the series except the Vayne pick. So like wasn't that much of a surprise. I feel like with their bans, they mostly just tried to get Noah off the like picks they didn't want to play against, like Jinx and Twitch, I guess. They've been the Fresh as well a few times. I think every game. I feel
Yeah,
like I don't know.
I
I
think
think they
Fresh
had
was the only.
counters in mind for our picks, but guess they didn't work.
Seems like a lot of teams maybe have this idea that they have counters in mind. We've seen the Vayne and the Zac maybe more times than we should have over the course of this season, but you guys locked that one in. If I could maybe ask Noah specifically, I don't think we've heard from you yet, but you've had such a strong performance here. If I could see your KDA from this series, I think it would be absolutely humongous. I can't imagine how big that one is. Such a good performance from you on this Vayne, the Twitch, and the Kai'Sa. What is it that really attracts you to these hyper carries? Because that is really your signature style, is these hyper carry DCs.
I think it's mainly because before I joined this team, they used to have the JS ADC, who also like I have very similar playstyle to him. So the team was already like kind of in that mindset. And the reason I love playing Kai'Sa Vayne and hyper carries is because I don't know, it's really fun, and I watch a lot of Ghost.
Yeah, it had a huge impact on that one. We saw them try to ban out some of your hyper carries with the Jinx, maybe, and they did ban. Well, they didn't ban Vayne. They picked it away once, I believe, right? And then they just there's just too many hyper carries in the game. I guess they can't ban them all, and they end up just getting smacked with whichever one you pick up. So unable to really get that one done. How about Alone? You were our finals MVP here on the Morgana and the Brom. You had such strong performance supporting your players, getting so much value done in team fights. It's not the most obvious role because it's kind of that one binding that sneaks through and hits them and maybe gets a nice ult chain that isn't quite as obvious while Noah's going and getting a pentakill in the background. But like, how do you feel about this series and how about your own performance, given that you're relatively new to this team? Like, how do you feel about this team in general going forward, considering you seem to be fitting in quite well?
For this series specifically, I wouldn't want to downplay IGNI. I don't think they showed up their best today, but I think their style revolves around playing fights. They generally try to take good fights. When we deny the vision, it becomes much harder against two fighting teams against each other. And when we play better around the vision, we get winning fights. I think that's how we won the series.
Yeah, it seems like you guys always draft this team fighting comp. That is your signature style, and you play it so well. And they were bringing out a lot more kind of zany compositions with, you know, the Kale top there at the end, and then they had the Malphite with the Karthus mid, and maybe just kind of interesting picks and not quite able to make anything cohesive happen. They kind of didn't really draft a normal team fighting comp that you would say, but they were still going for these big engagements, and you guys were always able to turn that one around through the strength of your own team play and the comps. I feel it was just a flaw. As we were talking about, Artie was mentioning that he doesn't want to say that they lost in draft because he doesn't want to discredit the players and your guys' performances, but that does seem like such a big problem for them, was finding a team comp that worked. They were shifting out all these champions to new picks every now and again, and then you guys had this one consistent game plan that you're always able to follow through with. And that we said, Artie and I were joking about this during the cast, Noah can't keep getting away with it. How do you guys always be allowed to play the same style and dominate it? Like, why do you think that people don't ban in general, not just IGNI, because we talked about why IGNI, they kind of tilted in draft, but like so many times people don't ban your core champions? And maybe a second follow-up question, is it even possible to ban you guys out of this team strategy, or will you always be able to find a really strong team fight comp?
I think we can, honestly. I think the champion pools we all have are just so deep that like even if they ban out like with 5 bans, I don't think it's enough, honestly. Like if you're looking at hyper carries, there's so many. Like you saw this series, like they banned Jinx every game, I think. Then they took the Vayne away for like 2 games, but you still have the Twitch, you still have the Kai'Sa. Like I don't think it's possible to ban it out, and then you still have more stuff, you know. And then yeah, I feel like this style you can play it. You don't need like specific champions for it. You can do it with almost anything. You know, like you can play carries top like Cannon, but you can also play tanks like the Scion. You can play mid with like the Zillion. You can also play Aurelia. You can play Braum, Morg, whatever the fuck you want, like on support. So I don't know. I feel like it's more learning to play against it instead of trying to like not make us play it.
Sure, I suppose that is true. I don't know if any of the other people I have in here have any other questions for you guys. I kind of have spinned myself down here. Think that
I have one question for Wheatfish.
Oh,
How
boy.
many charms did Jack hit on you actually? I kind of lost count.
In lane, I think maybe one. But
Yeah, I
don't
was gonna
remember.
say. Ah, but that's okay.
I don't know if I'm just insane or he's just bad, but like
I
can't
don't
blame
know.
him. He doesn't play the lane, so can't blame him.
Yeah, true. Ah,
The,
that was my question actually. Yeah.
Are you surprised that they didn't swap Sojin around anymore? Because I would have thought that they're normally a team that got so much value out of swapping their players into different roles, and they kind of left it to the last minute. And then, as you say, they put Jack in the mid lane, and he didn't really have a fun time about it. Do you think that they could have gotten more value out of that, or was it just going to be the same story?
I think that they could have, like, when last time they played against us in the regular split, when Sojin was also playing, they played with Sojin bot lane as Pyke, and then they put Exile mid lane. And I don't think Sojin is like bad support. I think it's like decent, but I think they would have gotten a lot bigger chance of winning if they have Exile in his actual main role, because he's really good mid laner, and he can play a lot of different stuff. But I still think we would shit on the bot lane. But yeah, it's not. I don't think it's really like. I don't think there's not you can change about it. But I think Exile should have maybe been mid one or two games.
Yeah, I think Sojin's champion pool was really weird mid lane. Like he played like Karthus and Mork, which are like really, really weird, awkward picks, you know. So, and like, well, Axel plays a lot more meta stuff.
True. We saw the Karthus in lane pressuring you, Weedfish, a little bit early on, but
that matchup's not fun.
Yeah, it does not look fun. I guess once he dodges the bombs, right, you've got nothing else to offer, and he can just walk forward and just try and queue you until he gets bored. But you did weather that one very well. Even with Ventum coming in, we saw you get that clutch stun on him to get away with your life and able to TP back a small CS deficit, ending up with you having that huge impact on that champion while he was just kind of running it down and getting killed by Noah over and over again. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else anyone wants to say, particularly any messages you guys want to throw out there before we close this one off. I think I've asked everything I need to know, and it's good that we've gotten a little bit of insight into how you guys think about these drafts, how you guys feel about this win in the season in general. So if you guys have any I don't know, just anything at all that you want to shout out to the fans at home.
Yeah, so I say I'm at my grandmother's place, 4 hours away from my home. I brought my whole desktop here just to play this final because we have a holiday here in Sweden. I moved it all the way here just to play this, and now we won. I kicked everybody off the internet to have better ping, you know. So
that is the kind of commitment we love to see here at Equinox League. Back with the 4-hour journey, carting the desktop over, still coming in, locking in those cannons, and that Siren having a huge performance in this final. That is good stuff to see. I guess if anything else, go ahead.
I mean, I think Noah doesn't get the credit that he deserves, honestly. Like, he pretty much carried every single game here. Even if we play around him, he still does it like insanely well. And especially that second game, he got so many fucking picks. Like, honestly, like he deserves more credit than he gets, and he's been really insane. He's my MVP for this series. Well, bot lane in general, but like, you know, I hate Tom, so he doesn't get it from me.
Unlucky. That is very true. It's definitely worth saying. I think that myself, especially, I've casted Noah quite a few times now, and earlier on this year, throughout that time, I was pretty hard on Noah. I feel whenever there was more of a tendency for Noah to get caught out, but I think this series in general played incredibly well. There was only really one time I can think of where he actually died, and that was I think Kai'Sa mid lane, but they had the 4-man Sivir engaged run up. So it was pretty hard to avoid. But in general, it's very true. No, you have been playing a lot better. You've not been making the mistakes that we would always kind of rag on you for before, and now you're being that consistent carry, as you say, and it's nice to see that you're appreciated by your team for being that consistent source of damage. Because the fact that you went 10-2-4 this game, and you went like 11-5-14 or something the previous one, or some crazy scores, it's just not even exciting to us anymore because it just always happens. So it's become a bit mainstream, the fact that Noah pops off and gets insane scores. So it's right that we shouldn't gloss over it as much, because it is super impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of like our support is the brain, and Noah is the hands, you know?
You're implying he actually has hands, fuck off.
I'm the tank, I'm the body of the team, okay?
He has 2 left hands with 3 fingers each.
So I guess if we have the brain being the support, the hands being Noah, and the body being Paka, which part of the body is Pineapple and Weedfish? And don't get explicit, this is a family stream.
They're both assholes.
Almost.
I really wanted to make a really explicit comment here, but...
Well, maybe.
I would say Piney's is the legs, maybe?
What he's carrying?
He runs bot lane and ganks, so he's the legs.
He's just a big Parallax running bot.
Yeah.
Is that make Weedfish like the appendix?
Yeah, I guess for the arms.
I'm just the
Something
intestines.
today.
I'm just the intestines. I have all the
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. You're the
Okay, so this terrifying transformer of a team that we built up here from AMG, I think that is probably going to call it for us here today for the real this time. Until I get a message from the streamer telling me that we're actually not done yet. But I mean, I'm just going to try and end the stream before I end it again. So thank you guys for coming in for an interview. It's nice to hear you guys and put some voices to the faces and hear a little bit how you think about the game, how you feel about this massive win. It's a nice way to clear off this season. Been my absolute pleasure casting you guys, and I hope that I will be able to cast you more in the future. I love watching your games, and it's good to see that you guys are. I mean, there's a bit of banter there, but you really are. Once you're out of the Discord trash talk thread, you know, you're relatively humble. You appreciate your own team members. You can appreciate the enemy teams. You're saying that you didn't think IGNI showed up properly and that it wasn't really like the best season from them, and that's very fair. So we love to hear that kind of stuff, and I really like to see. I really want to see what you guys can move on and do in the future. I'm excited to watch you guys in this scene, and I think that is going to be it for me this time. For real, I'm going to be signing off. Everyone else can kind of give a general mess of a sign off, I guess, after I'm done here. But that is going to be it. Thank you all for watching, and keep your eyes on that Discord for the announcements thread because we are not going anywhere. Equinox League will be back. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, okay, didn't ask.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. I wanna taste your content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption, breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Just wanna be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.